Friday the South and band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon.
Bada.
Spoon.
Skibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kua. Bese kua, kudileo. Kudileo.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, I. A special one from the CEOs. Then coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South and band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today? Yes, what you got today? Beseku, beseku. Bada 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 bada. Skibidi bidi da bado.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEOs, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon registration.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia.
Let me say a pleasant welcome to all of you across the world. Welcome to another edition of the program Spoon Talk. And this is where Spoon Talk is where you get authentic information about Liberia. We want to say welcome to the program again tonight. Spoon Talk is live on Spoon TV Live. We're live on Fabric TV. We're live on Super TV. And we're also live on YouTube at Spoon Talk Live. I'd like to say welcome to the program tonight. This edition of the program is heavily loaded for you. So just encourage someone to listen with you or watch the show with you. We also encourage you to share the show as you come on, as we take you through another edition of the program. My name is Nelson Colette, and I'd like to go across now to welcome Dr. Richardson on the program tonight.
Nelson, how are you doing?
I hope I can get Dr. Richardson on.
I'm here. I
don't
can
know
see you.
why it's like my network. Maybe my network has a little bit of
Can you see
issue.
me?
Wow.
Can
Okay.
you see me?
So let's say welcome to you tonight. Welcome to all of you ardent followers of the show. And we're here again tonight to make sure that you get authentic information about Liberia, all the latest news and information you need to know about the country. This is where we get to unleash them. Talking about the program Spoon Talk right here on.
Nelson, you can see me? Can you see me or hear me? I'm here.
Okay,
I don't know.
so seeing
Can
that
you hear me?
we have a bit of issue here. So okay, Dr. Richardson, welcome.
Yeah, I've been hearing you, but I guess we have some technical problems. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Dr. Richardson, and it's good to see you. I'm glad to be back here after the weekend. Yes,
You have one day of break.
yeah, certainly. I have one whole day of break. Yes, and it was a good one though. And
That's
yeah,
good. I hope you slept because you are pulling double shifts. I see you here, and then in the evening around what 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you're doing a
yeah,
political night or something like that.
Yeah, the late night show. But
Yeah, the late
interestingly,
night.
Dr. Richardson, interestingly, I didn't get to have that kind of sleep like I would normally do previously because it's like my system is gradually getting used to it, being up onto that time. So yeah, I was just
Mhm.
online and doing some other stuff. Yeah.
That's so funny. You seem to be doing well because I checked out the late night politics, and you seem to be asking good questions. Like you're on point. I was like, isn't he tired? But yeah, you're already provoking the thoughts and carrying on the conversation very well. I think the guys were enjoying you. I saw you guys have had about 3 women there as well on the
Yeah.
last show, so that was good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah,
Richardson.
well, I want to welcome our viewers today. Today is another day of spirited conversation with us here at Spoon Talk. Please share this show. Our John Nelson asking you to share the show. Tell a friend that Spoon Talk is on. We promise that we're going to bring you a lot of information, and help you decide on on the information that we bring you. Um, October 10th is a big day. We have to make an important decision for our country. It is going to be for love of country and our love of self. So I'm asking you to be informed so that you can make informed decisions on October 10th. So, Nelson, I'm back to you. What's going on in the country?
Yes, Dr. Richardson. So many things happening in the country, but topping the list of all the happenings right now is campaign
Hmm.
activities. Liberians are out there, those from the ruling establishment, those from the opposition community, they're out there campaigning. Even in the case of maybe parties like the ANC that has now officially kickstart campaign activities, but they are also campaigning.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
they
campaign.
someone said
I know
the digital
what I mean by
campaign and the
kickstart.
geo
Yeah,
campaign. You
huh?
say?
What I mean by kickstart campaign activities? We campaign. We out there. We
Oh,
outside.
okay, okay. You know, so
So.
some parties will have what they call the official launch of their campaign activities. So
Mhm.
yeah, I thought that's what maybe the ANC is waiting for. But what I know is that people are campaigning. People are campaigning from social media. There is a door-to-door approach. Some call it the Jehovah Witness approach.
Mm-hmm.
It's going on
That's good.
heavily. I saw folks in some communities,
Mm-hmm.
going from one house to another, like the evangelists would do. Some time
Yeah.
ago, like you will see people going from one house to another house. So they were going with the flyers and telling people, "Oh, we want you to vote for our candidate." I will not call the name of that candidate, so I don't seem as it doesn't seem that I'm campaigning for that candidate as well. But yeah, that's another method that people are using. Um, but I think the one that most people are so much used to here is that big campaign where you will see the speakers on the floor and everyone is moving, the loudspeakers and announcing and so forth. But yeah, which we've not seen from a few other political parties yet. Yeah, but I
Mm-hmm.
think top on the happenings in the country now is this issue of campaign activities. Yeah. So
Yeah.
um talking about that, CDC had a press conference today. The chairman Mobile Molu, the national chairman, and he was predicting a first round victory for the CDC. He said that there's absolutely no law that prohibits a first round victory for any political party, and anyone who argues a first round victory for CDC, maybe that person is not in Liberia or is not following the happenings or the records of the CDC. But at that conference, one of the things he said is that they're very certain of a first round victory for the CDC based on what they've done over the period of 5 years or thereabout. They're very much sure of a first round victory. So
You know,
that is
you
the
know,
first.
I was thinking about Nelson about that.
Mm,
I'm beginning to think that with all of the parties that we have in the race, how is
mm.
it possible to have a one round victory? It's almost like this information that we are hearing from these political party, which is a form of election rigging. You know, you are influencing people by telling them, say, "Oh, we already got this thing. We already won." When you have not, because we have not gone through the process of democracy yet. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's true that we have so many political parties in the country. That's undisputed. But another thing here is, the constitutional requirement, the 50 plus one,
Correct.
vote. And, and I think, in spite of the proliferation of political parties, the it's going to depend on how much work a particular political party puts into the process. And again, the
Mhm.
work will not be determined from just the about 2 months we have for campaigns, but maybe going back, if it is ruling establishment, for example, going back to your track record from the time you took power in 2018. What have you done? What has
Mhm.
been your progress so far? And all of those things. Those are things that, and then adding on to what you do in the period of 3 months that we have, 2 months, sorry, that we have for campaign now. That's
Mhm.
something that will determine whether or not you get a first round victory. So for me, I think it depends on how much work a particular political party is going to put into the process. Um,
It's
I think
true.
it's not impossible, but it's difficult. It's not
Yes.
impossible, but it's very difficult.
Yes. So understanding that it's not impossible but difficult, I think that when people are saying one round victory, it's like
Mm.
you're telling people don't even worry, to go forward because we already got this. And that could be persuading some other people in a way that is not helpful to our democracy process. I mean, the only time I've seen, and then like maybe we can go back to different elections. I believe it was
Mm.
Samuel Doe that won more than 50%, but he also that lecture was rigged, seriously rigged.
Yeah.
In some book,
Most
it is comparable to Charles D.
election.
King. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead. That.
Yeah, in some cases, I believe it's comparable to I think that was Charles D. B. King's
Yeah.
election. But yeah, so we never had maybe I need to find out more, but I don't believe that we had an election where somebody just won in one
No,
round recent
no, we
times.
haven't had. We haven't had such. In fact, Dr. Richardson, since since we got to post-war Liberia, where
Hmm.
democracy, where we started to experience real democracy, people going to the ballots and voting and all of that. Since 2005 up to now, we've always had a second round. We've always had a second round. And I think that the information from 2005 up to now is sufficient enough to send a message to anybody that first round is not easily possible. It's not easily possible.
Yes.
It's not impossible, but it's difficult. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand, if you are, like I want ANC to win, and I will prep my team by saying, in closing, not in public, that we want a one round victory, like do everything possible. But I don't know if I would come and do a press conference to say that because, I don't know,
Mhm.
especially when you are the ruling party too, that have control over our election in a way. But this is
Yeah,
my thought.
that's true. That's very interesting. And I think I understand the point you're coming from too, because the ruling establishment controls a whole lot, and certain statements will be interpreted differently by the public. Someone sitting
Yes.
somewhere will say, "Oh, but people already say they will win round one round, so there's no reason
Well,
why I should even give myself a hard time," and so forth.
precisely.
But then someone on the other side could be looking at it from using another lens, from a point wherein they'll say, "Oh, the man is selling his market." So once you
Sure.
are you're trying to get the people over, you want to make those statements that would present you as someone who is so confident enough. You're so sure of what you're involved with, and so that could be another aspect. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good thought. Yeah, to look at it from both ends.
Yeah. So that is the first one, and secondly, today, former Vice President Joseph Boakai, the long-awaited activity that was stopped due to the violence and all of that, it took place today. The naming of the full campaign team, those people who will be taking the message, who will be spearheading campaign activities, playing different roles in different parts of the country, working with different auxiliaries. So just to name a few, you have names like Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence, and Prince Moy, Senator Darius Dillon from the Liberty Party. Yeah. So and so many people. The list is a long one. I think during the detailed discussion, you along with the rest of the team will go into the details. But
I'm
at
sure
that,
that's
at that,
I'm sure this will be a topic.
yeah,
I'm sure this will be a topic of discussion.
Definitely. But at that program today, the former vice president responded in Liberia. He responded for the first time to the castic situation. According to him, the people who were carrying the coffin with his photo on it, those people are the ones that casting is for. It's not for him. So he said that the Unity Party is not going to go similar route with the CDC. They're a very responsible party, and they're more concentrated on defeating the CDC come October 10th. So they will not be in the business of putting political leaders' photos on coffin and all of those things and parading with them. But then he discouraged that. He discouraged that strongly, and yes. So he said the people who are carrying that coffin, putting your picture on it, that coffin on it is not for him. It's not for him. So it's for them. So that was a response from White
Good
Guy.
comeback.
And so he also pointed out the issue of violence. He discouraged that strongly, but at the same time saying that they will not tolerate violence as much as they want to be peaceful or they are going to be peaceful. The Unity Party will equally not tolerate violence during this campaign period. So he was also sending a caveat to supporters of the CDC or any political party to avoid anything that will undermine the campaign activities of the Unity Party, because the Unity Party will not tolerate any form of disruption or whatever to their campaign activities. They will not tolerate violence.
Well, I want to condemn the violence. I'm sure that many people in Liberia would join me in doing so. We want a peaceful, fair elections. We don't want any body hurting another citizen. So I believe that everybody should keep their eyes and ears open for anything that appears to be violence that will interrupt our elections. So I'm condemning it. I don't believe in people fighting each other right now. We really need a free and fair election in our country. Nelson, you seem to be stuck.
Am I stuck?
Yeah,
Am I still stuck?
No, you're good. You're good now, but blurry. Yes, you're good now. You're really good. You're good now.
Yeah, that's the internet situation. Gradually is going to pick up. Sometimes that's how it is, especially that it's been raining heavily today. So yeah.
But at nighttime you're very good. I don't see you going off at nighttime. It's very good at night.
No. And during that time, not too many people are online here. Yeah, so there's less traffic to the networks.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, so Dr. Monoba is still in Lofa County. He's on his campaign, tour in that part of the country. Today he was in Sosomulu, uh, town in Lofa County, showing the people of a better Liberia on the Monumba Crown administration that yes, the country is going to do well. On the flip side, the standard bearer of the African Liberation League, Madam um, Beslo Yanti, today she made a very strong statement assuring Liberians that if she's elected as president under her administration, they're going to ensure that perpetrators of heinous crimes during the civil unrest in our country will be penalized. They will be penalized. That all of those individuals who carry on those different activities during the war, those people will be penalized. She assured the Liberian people of a war and economic crimes court establishment in the country and so forth. Yeah. So,
that's good.
So that was that from her.
So it looks like Dr. Moneybar wants to spread out this Lofa food here, huh? Because I see Thomas Fala now do a little bit, CDC now do some work there. Moneybar going there, and that historically Boca territory.
And Dr. Richardson, I don't know, but there are predictions that the Unity Party votes might just be tempered with in Lofa County, judging from the number of individuals that are engaging in Lofa County, especially people who are originally from the county. So there are some predictions around that as well. But we're looking to see how it goes because Dr. Clarence Monumba, for example, comes from Lofa County. So whatever the case is, he stands a chance of getting some votes from that county. And then you have Representative Thomas Fala. He's going to Lofa County, and based on his own contribution to the county, believe it or not, there will be a percentage of the vote that he also will be taking from the county, and a lot of other people. So, but in the midst of everything, United Party maintains that Lofa County is a stronghold.
It's there. It's strong. I'm beginning to feel that everybody's going to get a little bit of, from every county. I don't know if anyone's going to predominantly win a county, like, the past election, how Lofa went predominantly to former Vice President Boca. It just seems like, I think Baso, everybody's going to get a little piece. Nima, everybody's going to get a little piece. Bung County, everybody's going to get a little piece of it. The Maryland and Southeastern area. So that's a feeling I have. So, but we'll see. I'm maybe somebody else can disagree with me when they come on. But go ahead.
Yeah. So so far that's it. Talking about some of the updates from the country here today. Okay, so just before I forget, there is this issue that has popped up in the country. I started to take notice of it quite recently on the social media when so many people started to make Facebook post about it. It's called the smart AI.
Yeah, tell me about that. I see that. What is that?
Yes. So according to some of the individuals that I watched being interviewed, they say is a kind of app that they were encouraged to invest in. So it's called the smart AI, and some of them were encouraged to invest, but it was not there was no threshold, there was no specific amount that you needed to invest. No. So some people invested 4,000 Liberian dollars, some people 5,000, some people up to 30,000 Liberian dollars, and so forth. They made investment in the app, and according to some of the victims, once they invested the money, they were giving a tax every day to perform. And then once you perform your tax, he said 20 tax. So the tax had to do with watching video, I think sharing some posts and doing some other work online. So you had to perform 20 tax per day. Then upon the completion of the 20 tax, you get to receive 3% of what you've invested in the smart AI. 3% daily. Once you perform your tax, you complete it, you get 3%. So if you had, for example, you had 10,000 in the app, you get 3% of the 10,000 just like that. So interestingly, the first batch of people who made investment, they were able to get their money back. And then other people started to develop interest. More people started to invest in the smart AI technology. But then just a couple of days ago, after a lot of people have invested in the app, the whole thing crashed. They lost access to it. So from the onset, there was this thought that, for me, I thought that it was just a Monrovia thing, since in fact, talking about internet stuff, yeah, Monrovia is much better than other counties. But today I watched interviews from Lofa County, from other parts of the country. You know, so many young people who invested in this app, and they are now victims. Some of them are calling on the government to intervene. Yeah, so that's where we are with this smart AI situation. So we hope we can have some of the guys that we can be able to speak to as well. But that's the situation with it, and it's an alarming issue because, like, one of the guys that was interviewed, he said when he invested the first 4,000, and when he got some proceeds, then he encouraged his mother to take a loan from a company here called Brad. So they took loan from the company, 30,000 loan. He invested the 30,000 plus what he already had. So on the overall, before they could experience that situation where the app crashed, he had over 58,000 in the system, and everything just crashed. Yeah. So it's something that so many people are concerned about. There are some secret victims who don't want to come up to speak about it as well. Yeah, but that's the situation.
Yeah, I saw some postings about it. You know, when they speak about AI, it's like artificial intelligence. Like, we have to be concerned about students using artificial intelligence to write their papers. That's how I'm concerned about it. But it's a different context in Liberia, and also if it's internet, if that app was developed internationally and shared with people, how is Liberian government going to hold people who are internationally responsible for something that happened in Liberia? Like, I don't know if it was, I don't know anything about it, but I'm just wondering how, you know, if we want the government to intervene, if it was something that was developed, you know, outside of the country, that's going to be an issue in terms of holding people responsible. But you know, thank you for sharing the information with us. I see Mr. Jiru is in front. We have Mr. Maxwell here earlier on, and I'm sure the other panelists will be joining us shortly. But I want to welcome you, Mr. Jiru, and I'm going to ask you to just, you know, let's welcome at least 5 of our viewers. And then if Mr. Maxwell, he comes in early, he can also welcome 5 of the viewers. Just for anywhere, your pick.
Okay, thank you very much. And good afternoon, Dr. Richardson, my man Nelson Colette. I hope I pronounced your name correct, Colette.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I want to welcome the man Isaac Ter Williams. He said, I'm one of the victims that invested $7,700 Liberian dollars in a smart AI. He meant Didisco DBR Guer says, I'm watching from Maryland County. Tita Duese of UP will win Lofa by all costs. Charles Taylor beat the late Harry Moneybat in Lofa. So I don't care how many sons of Lofa, JNB, JKK will win Lofa. Dominic Norman says the UP will win one round with a huge number, that there will be no way for cheating. One round. Well, that's political prostration. That is very hard to believe. Mama DJ Salib said, Dr. Richardson, I agree with your statement that each candidate will get votes from each county, he meant, but at the end of the day, a candidate or political party will win a county, the margin may not be wild. Howard Boya says, watching from Boys Town, Lower Margibi County. You are right in my area there. I'm coming there. I'll look for you, Howard. Thank you very much.
Yes, I will just welcome a few of you following Jerry's footstep, and then until Mr. Maxwell gets in. But Abraham Zane, I want to welcome you. Princeton M. Dami, welcome you from Nima County. He's watching. Bonnie Paso is also watching. Roland Ben is watching. Yaman Thompson is watching as well. Um, Patrick Smith, he's watching from his comfort zone, Morovia. Joseph Muhlenberg is watching from Logan Town. Woyama Wele is watching as well. Manja, Jesus, let me hold on. This thing is going so fast for me. Okay. Manja Andrew Samuel Masale is watching. Hi, Manja. Cornelius Hunter is also watching. Hello, Cornelius. Stephen Gorto is watching. You said thanks to Dama for conducting a poll in Bone County. Hassan is also watching. Clarence F. Wordsworth is watching. And Jan Emmett Kopor says, hello, my Spoon family. Byron Taylor is watching from Providence, Rhode Island. And Ish joining Sissy is watching as well. Faka Masali from Brouville. Philip Pope is also watching from Cinco. So I want to just tell all of you, thank you so much for joining us. We'll start. Let me see who's in the back. Hold on one second. Okay, we're going to start. Mr. Jerry, what's on your mind? How was your weekend, by the way? How was your one day that you had off?
You know, it was fine. The weekend was fun. Saturday, when you left, more fun came up. We now know that Hassan Fadike, Hussein Fadike, and his brother, from my information, have been receiving money from Alexander Cummings, one of the guys that they can do campaign. Unfortunately, they didn't want to disclose that. But on Saturday, Rufus Newbeck came here, and our contributor, he whistled.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Oh, he stayed after.
I'm play to enjoy it. I'm play to enjoy it. I enjoy
He came back after I left.
No, he didn't come
Mr.
back.
Jerry, he came back after I left.
No, he didn't come back, but the way he whistled, I enjoy it so much, you know. It was sweet with pepper inside, chicken soup, everything catchy.
Yeah, he is of course for.
Yeah, man, they put us stable. You see, that the problem that why when I say being a and Nelson will see this in the future because Nelson is now at a point now where maybe he's still doing journalism, he's still doing independent journalism. When he come to a point where I see myself transitioning from independent thinking type of journalist to politics, I just find it so difficult for people to see the reality and say different thing completely out of the blue. And I'm like, oh God, can I follow this thing here? I mean, it's just difficult for me, you know. But I'm learning and studying the people every day. Somebody will go and then visit James Boakai, calling him dead man walking, a man who will be in his grave very soon. He has offered nothing. He's an education fraud. All of these things, you finish saying it, and you come and say JMB is the best for the country. As an independent journalist, you're like you take a dagger and stab in my chest. You know, that's how I see it, because it defies the very code of truism to tell the truth. And so it's difficult. So now when they want to criticize, let's say George Weah, you want to criticize George Weah, you say the most unreasonable thing about him. I'm afraid to join you because I will practice journalism after this. I mean, in fact, I'm gathering my media institution stuff. took to the library already. I'm trying to gather them. I'm going to have a radio station, newspaper, all of these things. And I come back and say, this is the Gissing man you're talking about. I'm making a lot. So
Yeah.
it's just hard for me to believe that people, they are so unstable in their facts presentation. They are so unstable in the way they present political issues. That's one of my things today. And I intend to talk about the 10th point, better Liberia point of the Councilor Gonglo. You know, considering the fact that there is a direct relationship between the price of food in the market, especially when you're talking about rice and poverty of the Liberian people. Whenever you see prices go up, it shows that Liberians are getting poorer because the people cannot go along with the prices. And then if they present them as if they are being unable to meet the demands of their family, they cannot feed their family effectively. And the World Bank already said Liberia is one of the poorest countries living under $1 a day. The current economic situation that we have in our country, and I'll call it the economic woes that we have in our country today. If you look at it, looking at the way the government pillage the national coffers, looking at the way government ministers don't care, they do what they want to do. The president don't give a heck. He does not chastise anybody. He does not hold any ministers accountable. He's not changing nothing. The same people who got problems in the same position every day, and he doesn't care. And they claim that the pro-poor agenda, they have a pro-poor agenda. It's just counterproductive. You talk about pro-poor, but at the same time, you're enriching yourself. I just don't understand how the people, they go to government, what they really hope to achieve. And
That's what you the guy talking about?
Yeah. And
that's what you the man lecturing, so? Jason get free time. Hey, Gonglo. I don't know what you guys doing, but you're really enjoying Gonglo. Seriously.
Hey, just interrupt my little cool time. Hey, let me enjoy myself.
I'm trying to figure out who you're talking to, you know. I'm just trying to think who you're talking to because you're making Nelson to go to bed.
No, I was listening actually.
So are you saying Nelson is not interested in the poverty of the people, the price in the market?
No, I'm not going to say that though. No. The question folks asking you. You had your political leader that served as labor minister. What was the transformation?
Oh,
nice. No. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 minute. I know Prince Maxwell came and he went for more ammunition that the Richardson show face. The one that we get on CPP is bad, and that of they're about to cost again. Gibson, leave our brother Fadika alone.
No, my man. You're saving the man's life.
Leave Fadika alone. He got all reason to flip-flop. It's okay. This is political season. He have all reason to flip-flop. Leave him alone. I would advise you, like I did my brother Prince, leave Fadika alone because what Fadika have in his arsenal, if you continue with Fadika, he will destroy you.
Oh. You mean Prince? Oh, okay. I don't know much about Prince. That's
Fadika. But listen, let me say this to you though. Guess who I met this weekend? Oh, Dr. Richardson show face. Thank God I came before her.
What? My man,
guess who I met? Guess who I met this weekend? Anybody on this show got to be exact. Tell me who I met for the first time in my life this weekend.
Remy Gray.
Yes, Remy Gray.
Oh, look at that. All of y'all in the chat room. Helpful for them, man.
Well, now you're in the chat room, then you ask us a guess.
I met Remy Gray, man. I met Remy Gray with his daughters, two of them. Nice. Man, Remy Gray is a nice family man. Hey, man.
Yes.
Remy Gray, please meet him before you talk about him. He's a nice family man.
Mm-hmm.
I was so glad meeting him. He called me. He said, "See you." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, my man Stanton, I'm in Remy Gray, like 6 minutes away from me right now. I think he leaving tomorrow." Guess where we met? We met at our famous Wawa. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you
I
crazy.
got myself a cup of
Remy is
coffee.
a great
So
guy.
crazy.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
family, no, seriously speaking, maybe I met him for the first time, but Remy Gray, he's a family man. I'm not going to say the reason why he came here, but he would say that whenever he appeared. But hats off to Remy Gray, his beautiful wife, his 2 young daughters. Man, they are great family.
Yes.
Yeah, I shook the madam hand. I spoke to the kids. We chatted, and I looked her in the eye. I said, "Man, I don't know why folks would talk about you or go after you. You're a very nice man."
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, I would, maybe I would meet him again. He wanted to come over to my place, but we were going to church, and they were going somewhere else. So we scheduled to meet again, maybe today or tomorrow. But Remy is a very, very nice guy. Can you lower the volume, please?
Yes, a great friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
A good
is.
guy.
He's a very, yeah.
Okay.
And then I want to say to all of my Gibson people, Gibson talking too much, you'll be very careful. We are waiting for Prince Maxwell, Eugene Lamy Fagon, Mo Ali, and the Unity Party. Today they had introducing a campaign team. I thought they did this introduction already, folks.
I tell you.
All my introduction, you keep me going. So you finish, that will do my deal.
No, he told me. He told me he told Unity
This is what I'm
Party.
talking about. Unity Party. I thought they already No. Unity Party introduced the campaign team. How many introductions they will be doing now?
I'm telling you, they're wasting money and time.
And also, Mr. Comey,
going out of ideas.
You said they're going out of idea. Continue talking. They're coming for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a letter. We have a letter of resignation from Tim Cummings. Folks are dropping like hot cake. Chairman, co-chairman from the interior dropping from the CPP. Mr. Cummings, as we have learned, he has set aside $3 million United States dollars for his campaign. We will be discussing $3 million United States dollars for his campaign. Let's talk about CPP a little bit. Mr. Louis, what's his first name?
Brown.
Louis Brown. Louis is the first name. Mr. Louis Brown. He should have come up with an announcement concerning the Tim Cummings campaign. Gibson, I'm going to send you these different text messages because it will be interesting tonight. I am not sending it to Dr. Richardson because she's from CPP, but I will send it to you. I will put it in the discussion in our chat room. And for all of a sudden, Mr. Louis Brown sent another message and saying, well, we're going to postpone the announcement. Mr. Louis Brown sent another text message that they will postpone the announcement and the meeting.
What announcement?
Sister, can I finish? I beg you.
No,
I know.
I just want to understand.
No. Doug, Una Gibson need to understand. And now you are begging you. Okay. And as you know, Isaac Vatoba is in Liberia. They are meeting. They are discussing. We will be discussing about CPP. Okay. $3 million been allocated for the campaign 2023 October 10 campaign from CPP. 20 motorbikes were given to Henry Tukpa in Bon County. He was instructed to get 6 of those motorbikes to the folks in Magibi, and the Magibi folks refused. 64 motorbikes were given to the team in Nimba and 3 pickup trucks. But then the chairman of the Nimba CPP resigned. Reason we know we'll be reading to you that letter of resignation. Patricia William, you say my sister, you say my mom, my business is the CPP business. My business is Unity Party business. My business is CDC business. I still love you, my sister Patricia Williams. You know I do. But I will say this to everyone. We will be talking about Unity Party. You know why we talk about Unity Party? Believe me or not, Unity Party still trying to organize the campaign team. We want to know why now and why now and why now. Can Unity Party win this election with, say your own? Just continue adding it. We'll also talk about CDC. Why the First Lady was holding her nose. What's going on? What stink? We got a picture of the First Lady holding her nose, folks.
Okay.
While sitting by George Manawia, she decided to hold her nose. You know, in Liberia, when you hold your nose, it means something stink. Okay? Nelson, why are my pictures? What's going on, Nelson? What, Nelson? Why are my picture, Nelson? Why the First Lady holding her nose? We want to know. We got an answer to that. Why George Manawia continuing to sleep? What's going on with the president? He having a sleep apnea disease? Everywhere the president go now, he sleep. What's going on? This is getting scary. A young man in his 50s continue to sleep. Everywhere he go, every program. Even we have the video that folks were heckling the president. Did you guys see that video? The children in West Point were telling the president to leave. The president got mad and he said, send his EPS guys to take them out of their program. I have never seen this before. That President Weah, the people rejecting President Weah in his face. That he left his message, Gibson, and he started talking to the young men and women and to his EPS guys to go take them out. What's going on with President Weah? Something is happening. Let's welcome our brother Abula Mamey. And today I'd like to discuss my good friend. I will call his name later, my dear friend that check on me every day. People say what you want to say, but Abula Kiatema call me every day and check on me. Kiatema, I'm okay though. I'm still here. It is why it is. People can talk. Kiatema said something today, and I want to question what Kiatema said. Kiatema said it's a possibility Cummings can come back with 40% if he wins in Grand Bassa and other places. And I'm openly going to question Kiatema because people are saying, oh, Kiatema, you're saying this because of X, Y, and Z. We will get to that X, Y, and Z. Folks, we want to welcome you to the Spoon Talk. We want to say you are blessed and we love having you. And this is, no. Nelson, the First Lady was said now by the president. So please show that picture. Don't cut the president off, man. Show the picture as it is. Why the woman will hold her nose? Who's smelling by her? Is the contrast thing? Is this about George Manawia? She's smelling his toes? What's going on? You gotta send my good picture, man, Nelson. What's wrong with you? But yeah, man. Now, you know, the people who leave that campaign thing they're talking about and discuss Stanton keep saying, just stop discussing me. Let me be me, okay? I will come and talk to the nation when I'm ready. Don't worry about me. I'm not running to be president. Worry about Joseph Yuma Bwaka beating you. Worry about Mr. Cummings that giving you problem. Worry about other opposition leader, Tewan Gonglo, Clarence Moduba. Don't worry about me. I am not in the race, my people. But we will talk tonight. We will talk tonight. So let's wait for Nelson to put that picture up, or else with discipline, Nelson. Gibson, they might call the president up. For what? They might call the president up. They let Nelson as edition.
Nelson, you're afraid.
Nelson, okay. I get myself where I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put it up. But Dr. Richardson, that's my intro for tonight. It's going to be a very interesting show. A lot of stuff is happening. And we will not hold back. Imagine Beaufort Chamber. I received some document concerning Beaufort Chamber and Abachi. Amen. How can Abachi sell his own county? Amen. Gibson, I don't know how you manage with the journalist thing yet, but God bless you. Because if that me, I would talk it all. Yeah, the picture, yeah. Not Nelson, you cooking. Yeah, the picture, yeah. Folks, welcome to the Spoon Talk. Why President George Manawia wife holding her nose? Can we get some answer real quick, Dr. Richardson? We'll turn this thing over to you.
No, you're doing great.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Why President George Manawia wife holding her nose? Why? Gibson, you're laughing, Gibson. Can you help us understand why? I don't know why you're laughing, though.
I can interpret that picture in several ways. One way
That's what I come
is,
to you for. I want you to be fair. If you're not a sedition, be fair.
well, anybody who criticizes Joseph Boakai is a sedition, so I'm prepared for that. So, okay, you look at that picture first. The first thing that comes to your mind is something smelling in the area. What is smelling in the area? She's from America. She's an American woman.
She's from New York. Can you imagine? She's from New York.
Yeah, she's from New York, but so she knows what it means when something is smelling. That's the first impression that will come. Secondly, somebody will say maybe she has fresh coal, and she's trying to
What made the coal fresh?
Her nose.
They get dry coal and fresh coal.
How would I call it Liberia?
And it also
people.
Yeah, I mean those two are outstanding proposition. But again, if I look at it, I want to say that maybe something is in her nose and she's trying to blow her nose, trying to get it out of her nose. So those are the three things I'll look at. But it sends a bad picture though, propaganda-wise. It sends a bad picture of somebody sitting down by the president who is now holding his nose and look normal. But the first lady holding her nose and looking down like, this place is so stink. Oh God, how can I get out of here?
So thank you very much, Gibson. Thank you very much, my own brother Gibson. Thank you. Let me bring it. I will keep that to Richardson for last because a female is holding her nose. Abula, Mame, she's holding her nose.
Santon, like Gibson said, something is smelling. I wouldn't imagine or guess what is smelling, but I know something is smelling. I rule out the possibility of her trying to, blow her nose, like
with our tissue. With our tissue.
Exactly. That's the
nose in her hair.
That's exactly the point I'm coming to. This is a lady. We the men sometimes we take risks.
And she's a nurse. I heard that she's a nurse.
Exactly. This is a woman. We the men sometimes we, take risks and joke with, cleanliness. They are very, strong with that. I would expect that if you are blowing her nose, she will have tissue, or she will have a towel. The fact that she's holding her nose, she's not like trying to sneeze. She's holding her nose. Suggests to me that there is something smelling that she doesn't want to smell. She's not flushing her nose. It's not about cold. She's not just posting for picture. Something is smelling around her that she's not comfortable with. Something bad, something very stink is smelling around the first lady that she's not comfortable with.
Wow. Dr. Richardson?
So I like what the two previous speakers said, but I'm going to go with the side that she just got caught, in a still picture. Maybe her nose was itching or something like that, and she wanted to just, briefly touch it. So it could, and it's possible too that maybe she's smelling something as well. But I wouldn't extrapolate to say something, that she doesn't have a cold or anything like that. I just see from what I see, it seems like she's touching her nose. And it could be.
I know Dr. Richardson, you're a good doctor, you're a female, you're a wife, you're a family woman, so you want to keep it clean. But I will ask you guys a question though. Did the president fart? And the fart was so sting that a woman, look at her, she's sitting, no. She's not even relaxed. She's not even relaxed, Gibson. Did the president fart on his wife? I know they're gonna get vet with me again, but that's okay. That's who I am.
There's nothing wrong. Spouse do fight with each other. So
I do fight also, but the place and time is concerning. Look, and he ignoring her though. He turned his face away from her. He just saying, "Well, you're gonna smile for a few seconds." And what I first said was a Hennessy XO scent. That's the Hennessy XO, but just coming up. Did President George Manor we have fought on his wife? I mean, we got to. No, don't put it there, bro. We can throw it away. Thank you. Did he just fart on his wife? I mean, I'm asking a fair question. Let me ask my brother from the Illinois camp, Clarence Motorbike camp. Welcome to the show, Prince Maxwell. Why do you think the first lady, Claudia, sitting by her husband, President Weah, have her left hand to her nose? She's dressed beautifully. She get all her good dressing on, but just he left. He doesn't want to answer the question. But Dr. Gibson, do you think he fought on his wife? Gibson, come back. Talk to me, Gibson.
Gibson, you on mute.
That she is actually smelling something stink, or that she's trying to wipe something from her nose, be something like a flag in your nose, something like that. Or she got fresh coal, and the fresh coal part, Mama say disagree because she probably will have a Kleenex. People can be careless sometimes. You see Joe Biden always coughing his hand. Joe Biden never coughing his elbow, always every day. So I'm not surprised that people are careless to do that.
No, I'm sorry, Gibson. I'm sorry. I muted myself because we're talking to you, right? I'm sorry. But Gibson, we're not hearing you, man. We got to move on to the other conversation real quick. We are not hearing you, our brother Gibson.
I already spoke. I already gave you three possibilities. One, that she's actually smelling something stink, which the president doesn't care or if he's smelling that same thing. And she looked really uptight. If you look at the picture, she looked really
she
uptight.
was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, she looked uptight. But there is possible that maybe you're sitting down and something a flag, like this.
Yeah.
Or like Joe Biden, who always coughing his hand. Maybe she's careless and trying.
No. That woman is a decent woman. I respect that lady. She's a very clean lady. No disrespect to her. She's a nurse, professional woman. I don't think that she's sneezing in her hand. Yes, I don't think that she's sneezing in her hand. I mean, you, Gibson, you always sneeze in your hand. We know you for that. But it cannot be our madam, the first lady. Something President Weah did, I wasn't right. And he care less. You know why he care less? All right. Having said that, let's bring in the other video for today. I hope they can put it up though. When the children, let's play this video, then we'll go to our real conversation for tonight. I don't know, Prince Maxwell is having internet problem. Maybe that the Motoba have not paid him all his salary for this month. So he's not coming on he having a flashback. Oh, Sister Komekou, you with us tonight. Good to hear you. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
So Komekou started coming on Spoon FM. She just changing her look and her attire, and she just looking different. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Komekou is always like that. Probably not been knowing her.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you.
What's Tenton?
He took his set out. Maybe he'll be back.
I think he got an internet problem now.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's Dr. Richardson rescued him. The internet gave up.
Yeah, okay. You're welcoming Cole, and then that will happen when you welcome Cole like that, right?
Exactly.
So he was waiting for some video to pop up. That's what he was waiting for. But in the meantime, Mommy, let's just talk to you a little bit. What's on your mind? That's where I was going. But Center has another plan. When he comes, he will put his plan back on.
I was speaking what was on my mind. So there we can go to Mommy. I started talking and pull saying Mangario.
That's true. You were speaking. Did you conclude? I knew you were talking about.
Yeah. So today this week, I decided to pay attention to the 10-point Better Liberia agenda. Councillor Gonglo has talked thoroughly and decided that there are some things that mean more to the Liberian people than just ordinary bluff that politicians put up. And one of those things is there is a zero tolerance for corruption under the Gonglo-led government. And he has vowed that within the first 100 days, a thorough review of the audit reports that were done by the GSC during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government and the George Weah government will be carried out. Then this review will be determining how and who can be prosecuted, because there were people who were accused, who were indicted by these audit reports that the Ellen government decided not to take because she believed that John Molu tactics of the audits was not satisfactory to her. And then when the George Weah came in, because he failed to prosecute or to audit the past regime, he too plunged into the national resources, plundering every little resources that he may lay hands on. And Councillor Gonglo believes that the administration will set up a commission that will routinely audit individuals in government ministers of public, the directors of public corporation and parastatals, the legislature. There will be routine audit of this institution. And not only that, Councillor Gonglo will audit my friend Mame here, who is even his spokesperson, and say, Mame, you in my government, you spend just 3 months, but you have 5 houses already. Each of the houses worth more than $100,000. Where did you get the money from? And he will do the same to Gibson. And this is what people are afraid of, Dr. Richardson. People are afraid of people who will hold people accountable. They only want people who will not have the time to hold people accountable. And that is the problem that Liberia continues to grapple with. Not making the right decisions and putting people who believe that holding people accountable can be the #1 job that person can take upon himself. So yeah, we'll talk about the 10-point agenda as we go along. There's something I just want to read from there, if you let me. In the second portion of the 10th agenda, and I will just read it, and then I will not comment on it.
But we'll finish with all our jokes first. Can we get rid of all this thing? Because I know Gibson.
Let me finish reading my thing and you do your joke, my man.
No, you will come back. No, you will come back without telling them.
Let me go to the joke.
No, they got them. They are 2 men. They got tell them go 10 point. Where is going? Not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
But really
Gonglo can get 20 points, say, not going anywhere. Oh, go ahead, read your 10 point.
Unfortunately, I disagree. Yesterday, they were not talking about Councillor Gonglo. Today, Councillor Gonglo is a competitor. So he believed that we shall ensure absolute non-interference with the function of the judiciary. As a councillor, as a lawyer, he will make sure that the judiciary remain independent and not meddle into the affairs of the judiciary. And the police, and what he said about the police, without an independent judiciary, peace will not be sustained. Local and foreign investors will be reluctant to invest because their investment will not be protected by the courts. And that is a key point. This is why, George, we have government, nobody is coming, because they are not sure that if they bring their businesses here, they will not be protected. Before they finish doing all the kickbacks, all the bribery, before the company goes through all of that, they already broke and they don't even have capital left to do their business. That kind of business in the Gonglo administration, you will never see something like that.
Thank you, Chiru. Stanton, take your shirt back.
No. I'll take my show back. That's our show, though. It's not my show. You see,
all right, we'll
Pierre, Kahuna, let me ask you a question, though. Since you took over as tag team, what have you done for your organization? Because I just see you in America, you're not in Liberia, but can you give us? We'll come back to that. I'm just trying to tease you. I know that. No. We can't. Yeah, because I see anything you're doing, but that's okay. Let me go back to my man Joe.
No, I have to answer.
No. When we come to you, when we come to you, we speak, Mama. I beg you. The only person I can listen to here that Gibson Jerry. Only Gibson Jerry I can listen to here.
You should have waited for that time.
But people.
Go.
Nelson, can you increase the volume? If you download it, you can increase the volume or send it to me. We will increase the volume and make it right, okay? I think, George, what I want us to discuss, Prince, thank you for joining us, my brother. George, we are getting versed with the beginning. I can say in Liberia. The president is getting mad. The people came to see him, but they are not giving him the respect due him, gives him. And they're telling him, saying that what you are saying is a lie. And George Manawea got out of his element, forgot about his subject, and asked the EPS to remove those folks. This election getting serious though. If the people are tired with you, they are tired with you. I want Nelson to increase the volume to that for us to play in George Manawea's own words. Like the people are tired with President. We are there for you are saying, even the children, saying, Mr. President, you're not saying the truth. Even the children saying, Mr. President, you are not saying the truth. And the president got angry. So we played that, but let's hear what's on people's mind. You know, I was kidding with my own sister, Kowu, because every time she called me, she gave me a hard time. So I have an opportunity on the show to ask her, what have you done?
But that's a valid point, though. That's a valid question to her.
Thank you,
that's a valid point.
You know,
no, we need to talk about this right now. We need to talk about this right now.
Okay.
Kowu refused to take Gibson call, Gibson at but he said that's a valid point. Okay. Prince O, what's up? What's on your mind, my brother?
Oh, I mean, first and foremost, I'll just say welcome to everybody, to our viewers. Spoon TV, one of the best in democracy and promoting democracy in Liberia, is back on today, Monday, and it's an awesome day. So what's on my mind? Quickly, the president will be heckling. So this is just the beginning of the heckling that President George Weah will go through. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The government needs to understand that the Liberian people are much more sensible than 2017. So whatever he goes on the campaign trail to say, he has to say it with facts, or else the Liberian people will speak to him in the way in which they spoke to him there. But that's not the most important thing. Sidebar to that, the president is going to go through this many times. What is important is this I'm about to speak about. On Friday, August 11th, the European Union announced that they are sending their observation mission to Liberia, and it will be headed by Andreas Schaunder. He's the head of this European observation mission is an Austrian member of the European Parliament. And I know fully well that the European Union mission in Liberia is on top of this. I just want Liberian people to know that Dr. Moniba would like to thank the European Union and the top diplomat of the European Union, Joseph Borrell, for making sure that they keep Liberia on their agenda, and to make sure that they put a priority to Liberia observation mission, because the European Union has established a cordial relationship with Liberia to promote democracy, and they have been following up to make sure that the Liberian people understand that they are standing up for democracy. They have always made sure that their observation mission is impartial and to the letter as a diplomatic and partners to Liberia. So I thank the European Union, and I thank the European Union mission in Liberia. I thank the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen. I also thank Joseph Borrell for this swift and quick action in making sure that our observation mission coming from the European Union is ready, so that they can be on ground as early as possible to keep the monitoring of our election, so our people understand that our partners are fully invested in our peaceful democracy. So that's just one thing that's on my mind, and that's just one thing Dr. Clarence Moniba would like me to, Dr. Clarence Moniba and Madam Grace Brown would like me to inform the Liberian people that they are very proud of this information, that they're happy about this information, and they are looking forward to working with the team of the European Union as they get into Liberia for the election come October 10th.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's bring in Abula. Mr. Mohamed.
Thank you, Stanton. There's this thing in Monrovia today about some online investment platform, the AI account, that has reportedly duped a lot of Liberians. The facts are emerging, the information coming in. We still getting information as they come, but as the information come, we wanted to also point to an emerging or a potential situation that will cause Liberians to lose their resources. The AI, as we saw on social media, we saw their business registration. They were registered by the government of Liberia. Whatever they went through to be able to get such registration and begin to operate and receive, deposits or investment packages from Liberians today that are crying. Those are hard questions we need to ask, but we look forward to seeing how the government will respond to this situation and protect our citizens. We know what it means for poor Liberians to invest their meager resources with the anticipation of getting back returns. And at the end of the day, they're not getting return, but they're not hearing about the possibility of the business even existing legally or operating legally. So we call on the government to see reason to speak swiftly as we're getting information. People across the country, not only Monserrato, Pempenrado, market women who sell in their pepper and belabo, ask their children to subscribe to be able to increase their income. They are losing. That's one. There is a potential AI situation in Liberia, and I wanted to speak to it. There is this group, fine business model, but we just call it on Liberians to ask hard questions. People have reached out to some of us privately. We've conducted for them our own assessment and gave them private feedbacks. Some of them pay for those services. There is this group called Agriculture Liberia, engaged into farming activities, but also selling shares. Call on Liberians, buy shares. At the end of the year, you'll be able to generate this amount of money. At the end of the day, you'll be able to get this share. You can buy a share for your children. So a lot is happening with it. They will show pictures of farms that they are producing from. They will show pictures of their harvest. That's good. But what we want Liberians to know is, before you can invest in a business, there are key fundamental questions you need to ask. Whether you are an educated man or educated woman, whether you're sophisticated, you get plenty of money. If you invest in $5 or $10 in a company, there are few questions to ask. What is the company's income that you're adding to? What is their current profit margin? What is their liability? Who do they owe? What is debt that is on that company that you come in to add your resources to? If you add your money in the company, at what time you expect to get return and how much return you will get? What is the value of your money that you invested in the company? These questions are now being asked. The company goes around, collect money from people. Every year they make some contribution. That's fine. But we're telling them to ask these hard questions to avoid the situation that they're experiencing now with the AI. Agricultural Liberia model is fine. It's a cooperative model to put people together to combine resources, but you want to be clear about the liabilities that company, that business has. You want to be clear about when you begin to get return on your investment, that you're not just putting money there. We have already started receiving reports of people who put money there, they can't get response and they're complaining, but the complaints have not reached to the point where AI complaint has reached that people are complaining. So yes, a good business model, but ask these hard questions. Who all are associated with the company? What's the level of share, percentage of share that each of them owning? And if I put in my $5, how much share I will get as a result of my $5? And when are we expected to divide profit and how much profit I will get? Does the business owe anybody? What is the debt amount? Ask those questions before you can invest your meager resources. This is a public service we are providing to you so that you don't get robbed like how AI is reportedly robbing Liberians of the money they deposited. I just wanted to bring out that information up.
Thank you very much, our brother. We'll discuss this AI thing. We got some document that is on social media about who registered AI. I think our brother Prophet Key, our friend Prophet Key, posted something on that. Who registered AI? If you go on his page, you want to see who actually registered that company. I don't know much about that smart AI. I really don't know. But let's go over to our sister Kou, and then I believe maybe Kou or Gibson. Before you come in, Sister Kou, yeah, in America last year or so, or year before, they had something like Susu. You put some money in, and one person eat huge amount, and a lot of people were putting money in. You heard about that? I think it was last year, the beginning of last year. You will put 5,000 in, and you will walk away with 25,000. But when you come back to put the money in again, it cannot get out again, and the whole thing collapsed, and folks got in trouble. We were
Absolutely.
talking about that. Yes, it was a big thing
Absolutely.
around here. It was a big
In
thing
fact,
because
I can
I
just tell
found
you that my wife was
I'm
a
trying to
victim.
find the yeah, okay. I'm trying to
My,
find
my
that
wife
picture.
was a victim. Yeah.
It was like a bubble around cycle bubble that everybody
Yeah.
say, oh, this month on Friday I would eat 25,000, I will put 2,000, and this whole thing was a scam. Sister Kou, are you hearing us? Kou? All right, let's go to
Internet
Dr.
has just
Richardson.
frozen.
Yeah, let's go to Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, I believe I heard you guys talking about that smart AI. Well, they have taken people's school fees and family resources gone and everything. Somebody said they have 50,000 Liberian dollars. They put it in there, they couldn't get it out. Again, this thing getting crazy all on social media. I don't know about it, but talk to us, Dr. Richardson.
I was just concerned about it, especially if it's internationally associated, or if it's locally associated. If they can find the names of the people who register the AI, they can be held liable. Maybe they can be held accountable to the Liberian people. But I'm just wondering too if it's was something that was outside of the country, that was built outside of the country, like an app or something like that, and then have people download the app. It's going to be difficult for any kind of government intervention to occur. But maybe this will give us an opportunity as Liberians to learn from it, and also give the government opportunity to tighten up uh, technology regulations or internet regulations, in terms of accountability to the Liberian people. But my thoughts are really on, I wanted to just speak to uh, Liberians. This is election time. So a lot of people will come to tell you a lot of different things. They will tell you about, one party. If you're in one party, they'll tell you that one party is better than the other. They will tell you to leave. But, I just want you to just hold on to your conviction. If you believe that your political party is strong enough and is going to work in the best interest of the Liberian people, don't be persuaded by anyone in terms of how much money they want to give you, or when they promise you the rainbow at the end of the tunnel. Just make sure that you hold on to your conviction, and also be aware. I'm very aware that people will be switching, moving across, doing different things. I think we need to be aware of that people will move around. People will free associate. So that's what happened during this political season.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Folks, as you see, I don't know, Dr. Richardson, you are free to toggle. You don't have to go in circle. You are free. You
About what?
got this show. Don't let anyone, don't let Prince Maxwell or Gibson intimidate you. You are free to talk, please.
Oh no, most definitely, most definitely.
So what are you talking
But just
about?
to, but just to add some salt to what
No, 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 no,
Madam
no. I beg you,
Doctor.
Prince. No, 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 no. Sorry
No,
for
you
cutting
said
your name.
Prince might add. Let Prince,
No,
Prince
we
can
got
add some
Maxwell. No,
stuff.
no, no, Prince, hold on. We got Fagon joining us. You know this guy will get fast in a
But
red
I don't
t-shirt if
give
he
Prince
doesn't
your
speak.
time, yeah. You asked a
Fagon will
question.
give Prince. Fagon will give Prince a time. Are you serious on this earth during election season? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Go ahead, Honorable Fagon. Welcome to the Spoon Talk, sir.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to my fellow panelists. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't know what the question is because I just came running. and log in.
It's what's on your mind. What's on your mind, Fagon? We're just starting the show.
First and foremost, what is on my mind is the fact that, first and foremost, I'd like to extend my thanks and appreciation to His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai for the preferment as media consultant to his campaign team. And I want to assure him of...
Oh, you, Fagon? Can we see? We didn't see that, though.
You can tell your guys to cut the tape. They will cut
you,
it.
Fagon? Nelson, please call. Hey, no, Fagon, wait. Nelson, please call this thing. Fagon, this thing you started now, Joseph Boakai naming you now?
It's not too big. I'm one of the best political commentators, political pundit, political analyst, a politician par excellence, propagandist. So I come with a wealth of a resume to the team. And you know what I have done. My records are clear. 2017, I don't see anyone that can say they're going to match it.
They may come to try by yourself now.
No, it just shows that Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai is going to take the best in the business for the betterment of Liberia. And if you ask me what's on my mind, the first thing I will have to thank him for my preferment and assure him of my complete, not only support, but my expertise, and to work assiduously with dedication, commitment, and honesty to the campaign, and more so to ensure that President Weah is not only one-term president, but that we rescue the country from the drug proliferation, the wanton corruption, and the extrajudicial killings that have gone on for so long, and to make sure that our country can strive and thrive for many more years to come. So that's the first thing that's on my mind. The second thing that's on my mind is two things. One, I don't know where you came from or where Madam Titi came from with the idea to send people in the counties to gauge the views of the people. And when we come here and say that Joseph Newman leads by double digit, we get argument. But when the people go in the county, the people say, you don't come here. We just waiting for the old man. There was a guy today who spoke passionately. He said, I love Cummins. And I'm trying to convince these people they can't listen to me. So I caught a speech from them. He's fighting. But again, the people said, the first time Talbot became vice president of Tubman, he lasted for 19 years. When he replaced Tubman, he became the best. Joseph Numa Boakai served for 12 years as vice president, but 42 years of service to his country, a country dubbed as one of the most corrupt in the world. And nobody in the whole country can catch him 42 years or blame him for one corruption, something we've struggled with. So again, you asked me what's on my mind. Today, I took a screenshot. You look at CDC party headquarters. Just because JMB were having a press conference, they said they were having a press conference. I said, they say, that you call me and say you went all around there like drawer ends. There are book constructor looking for drawer ends. They said at 12, 14 people viewing. That's what they're going to get. JMB quadrupled them in the numbers. And yesterday, Friday or so, OKFN again repeated. They beat Joey at market door. All the situation on that hole, they beat him at market door. My Jabata, his supporter, went to Bapolu, Ketman, and Bomi. They even beat him at market door. They finishing in those 3 counties. So what's on my mind is victory. I see the headline propaganda from the front page Africa. Again, I love the newspaper, but if you see the front page banner, I see it like a propaganda. Whenever we ever talk about first round victory during Dotan, yeah, Gibson that who say he's the best journalist in the whole world. Dotan, we had a proliferation of party that they to say 50% plus 1. Did you see 50% plus 1 Dotan? It was not available. So there could have been no way for us to say we fan the flames of fire. It was Jackson S. Doe of the Liberian Action Party and NDPL, Samuel Kayan Doe, Sefini. All the other one said that was it. When Ellen King, we didn't know all that one. But right now, it became so difficult for the 6 parties. We can understand. But don't tell us first round is not possible. Charles Taylor went almost how many percent? And this time around, because of what has happened in Bomi, in Cape Town, in Bapolu, all 3 of the counties are resolved to punish this administration for looting their resources and degrading the people as well as punishing them. Then you and I know, you ask one of your friends, can Jawia win in Lofa? He said, no, but we'll take some number. You say, okay, Papa, thank you. Can Jawia win in Bong? Your friend said, no, but we'll take some number. You say, Papa, thank you. Can Jawia win in Nimba? Your friend said to you, no, but we'll take some number. You said, Papa, thank you. Can Jawia win in Monserrato? You said, no, Monserrato has never fallen into the ruling establishment before, but we'll take some number. And then you said to him, but if you can't win in Lofa, you can't win in Bong, you can't win in Nimba, and you can't win in Monserrato. The 4 P counted.
No. Let me do the talking. I beg you, Prince Maxwell. No, hold on 1 minute. Because, no. These are the things, Prince, we need to talk about.
Let's finish.
And whenever the Gongo people see Fagon on the show, they run away. I don't know why.
That one
whenever the Gongo people see Fagon, they go babysit or do something. But let's come back to the issue here. It is true, I was speaking to a director under the CDC government. I don't want to call the person name because it's in Liberia, in 931. The person called my phone, we talk about family. The person say, oh, Stanton, can you go slow on the government? I say, but I ain't doing nothing to the government. We talk about Eugene Lin Nangbe. We talk about, how you call him, the finance minister. I don't know whether that the finance minister sent him. And you try to convince me and say, oh, go slow on the government, they will open your station. I said, they can have it. Listen, we move on. Less than 2 months to go to the election. I will be me. Then he got into how George Manawia will win an election. Prince, you man of numbers. You deal with numbers. I asked him, let's do county by county. Help me out. And folks, you listen to us. Let's be very serious. Let's take away the jokes and the laughter and everything. I asked this. He's 57 years old. Because of my friend, I know his age. I cannot be direct to call his name, but I really want to call his name, but I'm not going to do it. He's a sedition, Dr. Richardson. Then I asked him, can President Weah win Lofa County, October 10? Don't tell me about anybody else, just President Weah. Can he win Lofa County? I'm asking you the same question. Can President Weah win Lofa County?
Absolutely not, because Dr. Clarence Moniba is already dominating.
No, hold on now, Dr. Moniba, I beg you.
Absolutely not.
He told me, no, Stanton, President Weah cannot win Lofa County. And I asked him why. He said, Stanton, to be truthful to you, the only county President Weah didn't win in the last election was Lofa County. Joseph Yima Bwaka came with 97% of the vote. So how can you ask me if President Weah can win? I said, but you just put in Jala. He said, forget Jala. We know what happened. This is a sedition talking to me, my man. I asked him, I said, tell me the truth. He said, we'll get some of the vote. Because Thomas Fada have tried, Jefferson Koji have tried, or Samora Wolokori have tried. Then I said, what about Sir Joseph? He said, no, leave Sir Joseph in Monserrato. Sir Joseph cannot pull forth. But these guys, the mobile model, they are all from Lofa. They try. But President Weah cannot win Lofa. Then I said, may I ask more question? He said, yes. I said, can President Weah win Bon County? He said, will Jua Howard Taylor help? There's a possibility President Weah can get some vote. I said, my man, stop telling me about some vote. Can he win? Can he win? And he said, no, President Weah, everything remains as it is. He cannot win Bon County. I said, what about the VP? And you know what he did? He called me back today because we had a Spoon reporter, Diamond, in Banga, in Bon County today. We'll be playing what the people said. He spoke to, what's the representative in Bridge? He spoke to her in Salale, district number 6. He spoke to people, he went to Banga City. And he spoke to people likewise. And this guy telling me it will be hard because President Weah was depending on McGill and the VP, but it looked like the people have turned their back on McGill and the VP. So it will be hard for President Weah to win Bon County. I asked my dear brother, can President Weah win Nimba? I beg you guys, I want you guys to speak on this thing. This is a die-hard sedition that I've been doing from day one. The man have left his family. The man have left his wife and his children. He left Liberia all this time. And he doing the muya. But in sincerity, the man told me, say, President Weah cannot win Nimba County. The person that will come second in Nimba will be Tewon Gonglo. And he believed that Tewon Gonglo will come over 50,000 votes in Nimba County. But yet instead, Nimba will fall to Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Cone. If you guys dare me, I will call this person Nimba. It will not be good for this person.
No. If you didn't test him, the person get posting now.
No. To be frank, this is exactly
now. Okay.
Yeah, the person post. This is exactly what they can do. They call me. I didn't go looking for them.
Do not call any name.
No, I will not do. I will do no such thing because in Liberia, they will go another person though. But I'm telling you the message. So you know what we end up? We took a Lofa, we took a Bon County and Nimba. So I asked him, if President Weah cannot win those 3 counties, then what next? I get the time the person called me. I got the text messages. I got the day. It's in my cell phone. I dared him to say that lie. Then I said, but can we come to Monserrado County? You know the question you asked me? Stanton, a President Weah don't treat him with Monserrado County. He can never, ever in his life win Monserrado. So I said,
suffering capital. At the capital of suffering.
He said, Stanton, there is no, his argument was there is no certain government ever win the capital of the country. So President Weah cannot win. So then I said, but my man, let me ask you now. You took away 3 big counties. Where did President Weah victory coming in here? I said, where? You know what he said? Hey, God. People are bad. People sitting up around George Barnett, where people sitting up around this president. And again, y'all say, I will not call name, I will not call name. But this is not right. Somebody need to tell President Weah the truth. People sitting up around this man. The man going from one church to another church getting holy oil. Look at the putting holy oil on the man's head. He went to Israel for holy oil. Now he getting another holy oil. And they know very well, this man not going to win election. They baptizing the man with oil. And they're calling us and say it's hard for Joe Biden we have to win election. And this person end up in Cape Man and bombing. And I will rest, then you guys can come in. Gibson, you know what they said? Ask President George Biden, how many folks he got in his government as minister or deputy minister from Cape Man and bombing. Fago, I don't know about that one. They want me to ask.
We were
how many people, my man, they want me to ask. This guy, he want me to ask President Weah and his people, how many people serving as minister and deputy minister from Cape Man and bombing? And how many people serving as minister and deputy minister from the southeastern part? The southeastern part, you talk about Sano, you talk about Grand Crew, you talk about those areas. Then the question will be answered whether he can win Buffalo, whether he can win Cape Man, and whether he can win bombing the Western Cluster of the region. I rest my case, folks. I'm not the one speaking. The person begged me later on, they cut themselves. They say, hey, stand on, don't call my name. I said, my man, I will not call your name. I know your family. You are brother to me, but I will not call your name. But guys, let's ride on that question. Sell your candidate. How can President Weah win in the Western Cluster region? How can President Weah win in Lofa, in Nimba, in Bon County, and in Monserrado? Let's say this thing tonight. Don't dare me, my brother. I know you're a sedition, you're on this show, you want me to call the man name for you to go look for him. I will not call his name. So all that thing you texting, you were not tempting to call his name. But go ahead, we will go to Gibson Jeru, we'll come to Prince Maxwell, Abdullah Mame, Eugene Fago, and Dr. Richardson will take us on this topic. It's very important. 5 county, Nimba, Lofa, Bon County, Monserrado, and the Western Cluster region. How can President Weah score a victory? Let's talk, Gibson.
I don't think President Weah can score a victory in Nima for sure. And everybody knows that Councillor Gonglo is going to take Nima County. There's no denying about it. And also, you have to, when you're talking about Councillor Gonglo victory and not George Weah in, first of all, the VP, Joel Howard Taylor, went to Bond County in her speech and said, this is our time to eat. Well, she has been eating, and the people of Bond County have not been eating. So therefore, they're not going to give her the respect that they have for her the last time, the way they voted for her the last time. Despite the fact that she's one of their daughters, but there are other great sons and daughters from the county who are telling their people, look, this is our daughter. We trusted her for the first time. She said it was our time to eat, and she alone been eating all alone. So how can we give her another time? Because she will keep eating and will not see what is happening. There's nothing coming to us here for us to see. Therefore, George Weah cannot win in Bond County. But I can tell you for sure, Gonglo is going to win in Bond County because of the kind of man he has who is doing the grassroots thing. Now, go to Lofa County. In Lofa County, they are going to be Nyakami because in the first round, Mumbai is going to slice away some great, number of people. You're going to slice away the Loma community in he's a Bandi. I think Mumbai should be a
Bandi.
Yes, the Bandi and the Loma people, they are more closer than the Kisi and the Loma people in Lofa County. Because I used to live in Feasible.
But so here's a question, my brother, my big brother gave saying, regardless who slice and die gave saying, who you think going to come out leading in Lofa?
In Lofa County, definitely JMB going to come out at the skin of his teeth, but he will still win Lofa County.
Thank you. What about Bond County? What about Bond County? No, we didn't put Basso. I'm not going to lie on this guy. We didn't talk about Basso. What about Bond County?
Okay. Bond County, George Weah can't win Bond County. It's late for him. There are a lot of intricate forces that in Bond County that are on the ground that would slice all the votes away from him. JMB going to take a large chunk. Ogongo is going to take a large chunk. ANC will take CPP will take a large chunk. And what will be left for George Weah will be a mediocre, very little amount of votes that cannot make him win Bond County.
So Monserrato to you.
Will win Lofa County. Monserrato is a place that we will fight. I believe that with the popularity of Gonglo in Monserrato County, Gonglo can win Monserrato.
Can George Weah win Monserrato?
And George Weah cannot win Monserrato because he's not popular with the people in Monserrato these days. And the people
Talk to me about the Western Cluster. Bopodu,
the Western Cluster, George Weah going to lose most of them, except for Bomi. I'm not sure because Snow is in Bomi County. He's very powerful. He got rid of
you brought the name Snow. Where is Snow right now? Snow have ran away from the campaign. He ran away. Snow said, I'm not in the mess. I will stay on my ECOWAS mission till after the campaign. But we're talking about Snow.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But the last time I listened to the Snow radio station, they were talking all about CDC. I don't know.
But I agree. But again, I will say this to you. Let's move on to our brother Prince Maxwell Prizo. Let's talk to us. You want to say your candidate, but bear with me. Let's do this county by county, region by region. Lofa County, your stand-up bearer from Lofa County. Talk to me.
First and foremost, let's frame this thing. Let's get an overarching view of everything else. Number one, every county in Liberia, the 15 counties in Liberia, there are people living there. All they know that the Pupo agenda has failed. That's the first thing. So they are all going to the election with the idea that the Pupo agenda has failed them. That's number one. So that in itself has reduced the president electability in every county around Liberia, including in Monserrato, where he should have had a massive amount of support. We see the Darius Dillon effect in recent times, sweeping across the board. So if anyone need to point to the fact that the president, based on the fact that he has had many instances to do better, but did bad, the Darius Dillon effect is one case study. The second case study that in the Western Cluster, we see fully well that in recent time, the president had to use surrogates in order to be able to get people to even vote for their party. These surrogates were using personality syndrome to get Liberian people to vote for. But this time around, we are voting they are voting for a presidential candidate, which is very sharply different from that of senatorial candidate, representative candidate, or even mayor. So in Lofa County, we know fully well right now that Dr. Moniba has the best ground game in Lofa County. His margin of success has increased tenfold. That's number one. So that has drastically diminished George Weah's possibility or CDC possibility in Lofa County. Let's come down to the Edwin Snow part, because that whole area is a bellway. The Edwin Snow effect in Bond County is a personal effect. The Edwin Snow momentum is personal. It doesn't spill over to George Weah or the CDC. So Liberians know this. Like I said, the key thing here is for people to think about is the idea that each and every Liberian right now in the country knows fully well that the pro-poor agenda has failed. It has now become the diaspora agenda, because the diaspora are giving the pro-poor agenda lifeline. Out of $351.18 million. In 2022, they pumped in $13.1 million. So the pro-poor agenda, people know in Liberia, it has failed. So now let's come to Monrovia, where almost 60% of the population density of Liberia is. CDC share of vote has diminished drastically. Now, in Liberia, people vote on sympathy. Let's look at the message of the president recently in West Point.
Real quick.
Right? Quickly. The president said this. He was trying to show where he lived more than 40 years ago in Gibraltar. President Weah is no longer connected to the history of Gibraltar. He knows that.
No way.
He knows that.
He's done.
It is true. It is absolutely true. He lived in Gibraltar. But the circumstances, the poverty, multidimensional poverty that the people now live in Gibraltar, President Weah no longer live under that multidimensional poverty. And it was sad in many political pundit mind to see the president trying to put that cloth on his shoulder and say, you remember me, I poor too. No, President Weah and many people in the CDC, you guys are not poor anymore. You cannot cajole the poverty story in Liberia anymore. So these symptoms, Liberian people have felt it. They see it. It is in Grand Cru. It is in Plebo, Maryland County. It is in Zwedru. It is in Saniquile. It is in everywhere. The president now is very worried of how he's going to frame himself and rebrand himself to present himself to Liberian people. That is where the president is. And that is the reason why I believe he brought in one of the persons that I respect highly, Eugene Namwe, because Eugene Namwe connects to the youth. Eugene Namwe absolutely connects to the youth in Liberia. He was forced to bring Eugene Namwe in because he's no longer connecting to the youth anymore. Number one, the youth of Liberia do not respect and do not see Samuel Twe as this intellectual czar as he said he is. As the people will say, the king cloth has now dropped off his body.
Thank you very much, Prince. So let's bring in our brother Mambe, and we'll go to our sister Kowu, and Dr. Richardson will take us home. Abula.
I don't want to think that people across the country will vote or not vote George Weah because he appointed a minister or did not appoint a minister from their county. I think they will be voting because of what the governance of Liberia have delivered for them. And I will conclude with the Southeastern region. Across the country, people continue to struggle. They can't find food to eat. They can't find job to do. They cannot find job to do because there's no significant investment in the country. No significant investment in the country because the president have not created the environment for investment. When investment comes, like the case of the motor road vehicle registration process, sign a concession with government, got rectified. In the process of moving towards their business, they awarded a portion of their contract to a CDC treasurer. So no enabling environment for him.
Let's see about the thing.
Who's that? Is that you, Mame?
No.
But everybody muted Mame is from
What?
you.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me mute that, Dr. Richardson. Go ahead, sir.
So those are the reasons people will be voting on the bread and butter issue, but most of them will be voting. What would their man do when he gets power again? 6 years more. The time he's desperate and begging for power, he misled the country down the road. What about the time where he's not begging for power? What will become of our life? Go to the Southeastern region. I can always say this. The people in the Southeastern region vote on 2 issues: expectation and result. In 2005, they had the expectation that they were voting for their son, who, when he become president, he will transform their lives, he will build roads, he will empower them, he will take investment to them. So they felt connected to him. Based on that expectation, they voted for George Weah. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf across the entire Southeastern region did not get 7% of the vote. They voted for expectation that George Weah would deliver for them. Come to 2011, how did they vote? 2011, they voted for result. Between 2005 and 2011, Ellen took foreign direct investment to the Southeastern region. She took golden beryllium. She took equatorial palm oil. She took Putu mine. These investments created job opportunities for the people in the Southeastern region. They could feed their family. They had jobs to do. Young people saw hope. They saw possibilities for the future. So in 2017, in 2011 election, what they did in 2005, they reversed it. In 2011, Ellen got 46% of the vote in Sino, 48 in Grand Cru, 42 in Maryland, and 54 in River G. She did that. The people rewarded her because they were now voting on result. They were no longer voting on expectation. She had taken golden beryllium. She had taken equatorial palm oil. She had taken Putu mine. They had created jobs across the Southeastern region. So they were delivering votes to her based on result. From 2011 to 2017, 2017 to today, between 2011 and 2017, they came back to vote on expectation. That our son is getting in the race. We will vote for him because he will build our road. He will create jobs for us. He will create opportunities for us to work. So they voted for George Weah in 2017. From 2017 to today, George Weah built more private homes for himself than he built schools in the entire Southeastern region. No jobs for the people to do, no hope for the young people. You think the people in the Southeastern region are stupid to pay George Weah for what he did to them? Every time Weah wants to lie about investment, he used the Southeastern region as example. When he was ready to lie about road construction and the coastal highway, he pointed to the Southeastern region with Ibomath and Eton Loom. It turned out to be false. Recently, when he got ready to lie about investment again, he lied about African Development Bank coming to pave the Southeastern Road, the same coastal highway. It turned out to be lie. The people are realizing that it is the opportunity they have now is to vote for a different set of leader who will then send a message that we are not stupid. When we vote for you, we vote for you for result. We don't vote for you for failed promises. So the entire Southeastern region, George Weah just need to leave it. People will go there, they will dance, they will come to rally. But when it's time to vote, these people sit and rationalize. What has he done for us? To reciprocate the number of votes we deliver to him. In Grand Jida, for example, they will be pointing to what Tewon Gongo have done for them in the absence of being a president.
Thank you very much.
Their causes. So to conclude, Monserrado, Nima, and all the rest of the other counties, the people will be voting on the material condition of their livelihood and not necessarily on what one minister can, how much minister can take to be able to solve a country's problem. But the decision of the president can create jobs. The decision.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Abula Mohamed. Thank you very much. Let's get to our sister Mepe Gono, and then we'll bring in Eugene Lami Fagon. Mepe?
Thank you, CEO. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
All right. Thank you. Good evening again. I'm sorry. There's a Xfinity outage in my area, but at least I can be connected by phone. So, I will agree with all of you here that the re-election for this government is going to be difficult, and it's being made difficult by themselves. This is a process that they created simply because of the factors
Yeah.
that all of you have talked about: under-representation, expectations not being met, and I don't see where they were going to have an easy pass all through of our country, even in the Southeast. The people there, if I say, they are more discouraged. They don't just have the president from there, they have the speaker, they have the pro tem. So, like Mame said, just someone being from government in a region doesn't necessarily solve the problems of the people. Then you go up to the Northern Central Belt, Nimba, Lofa, and Bon. They do not have a leeway there. The people of Nimba are not stupid. I mean, today you take motorbikes there, today you take a bus there for school. But this government has locked up our our social development funds from Acela Meta. We can buy our own buses if our funds are released to the county. We can be able to buy bikes. We can be able to bring development that will lead to employment, that will lead to better education, quality of education, and healthcare services for our people. And that same thing happens with Bonn, Basel, and other places. I know in Nimba, in Lofa, it's going to be difficult for them. The last election, Lofa delivered over 90% of the vote to their father. They will be doing it again. They were consistent for that. There's a consistency in the way our people vote in rural Liberia. In the Western cluster, we cannot oversee it. You see how much the road condition, the primitive livelihood of our people are going to vote against those things. As for Monserrado, where it's the epicenter of everything, they've lost ground there. You saw it in 2 senatorial elections. Why it's true that people will say President Weah wasn't on the ballot himself, but you also saw him campaign vigorously, pleaded to the people and say, I won this election. Especially the second time, Dillon cannot win again. I want to send Dillon a message. I want to send the CPP a message. But what happened? The people say, you didn't deliver, we will not deliver. And you saw Monserrado, slipped away from their hands. So I can tell you that these elections, squarely or one round victory for the Unity Party. Honorable Joseph Yima Boyka has inspired the people, and they want to vote him as their next leader. They are relying on his relevant competence, his long-term public service. They're seeing what he can do, the role he has played in the past, and they say we need to bring someone who understands this thing. Because like Mame will want to say, maybe the people are saying evil. We got to bring someone who understands what it means. And this is why I'm still encouraging those who are on the fence and those who are saying, oh, we need to get the people going, but they don't know what to do. Come on board the train. Vote number 2. It's an easy way to get them out in the first round, and let's start doing things as they're supposed to be in our country. So, CEO, to answer your question, as I've been following, they are not going to be able to convince our people. And let me just give you small statistics to back what I'm saying. Where you tell the popularity of a person in an election, it's not in the second round, it's in the first round when they are on the ballot alone without too many alliances. So you look at CDC at its most popular moment in 2005, they got less than 22% of the vote, meaning close to 80% of Liberians rejected the idea. 2011, they brought in Winston Tubman on top of the ticket, went to 32% of the vote. What happened? It tells you 68% of Liberians rejected the idea again. In 2017, with strong collaboration with the MPP, the Tyler, and everybody, with Prince Johnson, they were able to go up to 38% of the votes, meaning 62% of Liberians still rejected the idea. Love him or hate him, Charles Taylor has been the only person to overwhelmingly, collect the votes across the country. So far,
Thank you.
because I believe Joseph Yuma Boyka will be doing it again. So we're not talking about the second round, but the first round has proven that the Liberians haven't really been comfortable. So now you have field performance added to it. How can they even be dreaming about first round?
Thank you. Thank you, Cole. Thank you very much. That Cole is the chair on the tag team. We'll come and talk about the tag team later, but want to appreciate you, even by way of your cell phone. You still made it on to the show tonight. Dr. Richardson, and then Fagon will speak thereafter.
So I'm going to agree with what many of the previous speakers said, that this government has not served the people. They have not met the bread and butter needs of Liberian people. They have not demonstrated good governance. They have had things that, perhaps have never happened in other governments are happening in their government. So definitely, I don't foresee them winning at all during this electoral period. I have to say that the last election, George Weah won by 732,000 votes, I believe. He won. Joseph Boakai, Vice President Joseph Boakai got about 430 votes. So when we look at that win, we see that it was George Weah didn't have any record at the time. He didn't. So people are voting on sentiment, his likability. But now he has a record. He served the government in a very poor. He served Liberians in a very poor way. He has not met up to the standards that Liberian people expected him to meet. So I don't think he's going to win. But in terms of I have a sense that many of the candidates are going to get votes from these different counties. I think it's not going to be anybody winning predominant counties such as Lofa County, like how Vice President Boakai won that county. I think that vote is going to be split. It's hard for me to determine right now who's going to win predominantly, but I don't think it's going to be like before. When I think of Monrovia, we know that Monrovia tends to be a liberal type city. Monserrato tends to be a liberal type city. A lot of the people are very aware of the news and what's going on. They know how the government is functioning. It's functioning. They're close to the government. Again, I think Mr. Cummings is going to take Monserrato County because a lot of people connect to his message of improving the country. I also think Bassa is going to go for Mr. Cummings. I don't even look at Bassa just as that's what we say the Bassa belt, because we know Bassa people live in different areas. But I believe that Mr. Cummings, and I'm looking at the elections between Bensoga and Yombly, how close that was. And Bensoga is supporting the CPP at this point. So and they spend a lot of time in that area. So I foresee Bassa going to Mr. Cummings. I think Nima is going to be interesting to rely on. I just think the vote's going to be divided again, Nima, between Tier 1, Mr. Cummings, and perhaps the CDC because of Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Cohn. But I cannot really state who's going to take the majority vote in that area. Bond County, I believe it's going to go for Mr. Cummings. We have a lot of pastors who have been supporting us in Bond County. You know anything about pastors, they tend to be a great influencer in their communities. And so I believe that it's going to be a close call, but Bond County is going to Mr. Cummings. The Southeastern region, it's going to be hard to call again, but I don't think the CDC will do well in the Southeastern region. I strongly believe, and why are you putting this picture up, Stanton?
You're talking about Mr. Cummings. I want to show the people Mr. Cummings.
No, that's not the picture that I want.
If you want, I can put it down. If you want me to put it down, I can put it down.
Yeah, please put it down. This is very distracting.
I thought you talking about Mr. Cummings.
Yes, I am talking about
draw one picture up, you don't get vet. They put Cummings picture up there.
Other people are talking about Joe Parker. You didn't put anything sleepy. You didn't put a sleepy picture up. I see
No,
it.
they talk. I wouldn't for Fagon to talk about Joe Boyka. I won't
Okay, then
wait
you
for
put a
Fagon.
sleeping picture up.
Yes,
Because
I
that's
will.
a proper
Yes.
picture where he's sleeping that you can
Please
put
send
up.
it. Please send it to me. I'll put it up. So continue talking about Mr. Cummings, please.
Well, please put this picture down because I don't understand why you're distracting me.
Guessing you bad. Go ahead, madam.
And I
Guess
guessing I
another
really want
picture.
to. So I guessing. And I really looking forward for you to put Mr. Vice President Boyka picture up where he's falling
Guessing
asleep.
you bad, man.
Because that's exactly what's going to be happening. He's going to be sleeping in the garment. In the Southeastern region, I believe that it's going to go for Maryland. I know it's going to go for Mr. Cummings because Mr. Cummings spent a lot of time in that area. He made a strong effort to go and meet and speak to the people in Maryland. River G and the other Sano, I believe that it's going to be a close call, and I'm not going to call those places right now. Cape Town tend to be a very traditional place, believe it or not, as opposed to Bummy. And like my mommy said, the people in Cape Town voted for Ellen, surprisingly to me, because in Cape Town, they don't tend to like women in terms of just the practice. Men tend to be much stronger in that area. So in that case, considering that they voted liberally for Ellen, I'm going to.
You want this follow picture? I'm gonna put it one down. Fagon, why you put this picture up, Fagon? Let have some. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson, talk to us. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson. We apologize for the interruption from Fagon. Go ahead, please.
And I'm Mr. Fagon doing it. Are you doing it? And again, I expect you to put Joe Boyka's picture, Vice President Joe Boyka picture where he's sleeping.
Dr. Richardson, you're not representing Boyka. Why should you get a Boyka here?
No, I don't care who represents it. But the fact is, you spoke here, he put no picture up. Fagon come look and speak. You're not going to put it up. Okay?
I will pull it up.
Speaking, then he put Mr. Cummings' picture on.
But why you tell him to put a front picture or two? When a Boyka, he just keep going after.
Yeah, because you don't talk plenty about the broom picture. He always talk about Boyka here. So he even for that Boyka here. So that's the person I'll talk about.
So you finished, Mama?
No, I'm not done. I'm waiting. Are you finished showing your own pictures?
No, yeah, I'm not putting no more picture up. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Let me see. So last I was talking with Cape Town, the fact that Cape Town voted for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and although they tend to be very traditional in their thinking, tend to be Muslim oriented. I think that they are going to again flip this time around and to go for, because they voted for George we had last time, I believe. They're going to flip and go for Mr. Cummings. And just because they know that they want someone who to bring in jobs, they want someone who to have a continuity of the companies that Ellen brought to the Cape Town and Bummy area. Bummy is so close to Montserrat, so I think Bummy is also going to go for Mr. Cummings.
All right, Dr. Richardson, thank you. So we agree that the entire Republic of Liberia are going to go for Mr. Cummings in the first round.
Thank you very much. I didn't say in the first round. I was very honest too. I didn't say all counties going to go for him. Very objective.
I agree. I'm going to speak last, but I just want to say that, listen, Dr. Richardson, election season, things happen. God bless Mr. Cummings. That 14 out of 15 counties going to be voting him, and he will be the next president. Thank you very much. The Honorable Eugene.
My message for the night, please.
The Honorable Eugene. The Honorable Eugene, let me Fagon talk to us, please. And I got to put Mr. Boyka picture up as well. Fagon, please talk to us.
Whoa. Before you put Boyka picture, I want to talk to you both with video and then my voice. Any way you want to divide my time.
Okay.
I sent you a video of Josh. We are talking about Coca-Cola. Two things in that video that sound like fun.
I hope that you allow me to respond to that video because I believe we talked about that video the last time. What does Josh Weah know about Coca-Cola?
A good question. Since you finish talking about Israel, let me leave it.
Okay, good. Very good.
No, Dr. Richardson, now we're not going to move on now. Fagon, let's talk about this guy that I talk about and the counter issue.
My bad propaganda, that's what just said. I would just say, What a judge we are know about Coca-Cola. They are put Kumis picture there. If you want Coca-Cola, with plenty of sugar, shake it in the bottle. This is the man to vote for.
No, he went.
And now you're talking about
Richardson.
Wait, nah.
You put that on Richardson picture there, voice there again. But what a judge we are know about Coca-Cola. They are put Kumis again.
Well, so he doesn't even know the function of a corporation.
So let's talk about.
Let me say this.
And when you're talking about Joseph Boakai, right? I got to put him up real quick.
I'm not talking about Joseph Boakai. You know,
Go ahead, talk to us.
To show Dr. Francine that that's the sign of victory, Dr. Francine.
Dr. Francine, I put up Joseph Boakai picture up. I hope you like this one.
Yeah, I mean, look at the suit he's wearing. Look at the guy sitting next to him. A traditional wear. Very well. What did Dr. Francine say?
I'm telling you guys to put a picture of when he was sleeping in the church when you guys were here recently.
What church? You ain't go to church nowhere in your county. You are not in your town. How you go to church there? Is it that Richardson? They dream you.
I said Minnesota. He was in Minnesota. He went to church. There was a picture.
What church?
To show where he was sleeping.
Okay.
In the church. In the church. You don't think he was praying?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Bow your head and close your eyes. When I say bow your head and close your eyes.
Come recall.
All right, so Fagon, go ahead now. Go run against time. Let's talk.
All right, quickly. Stanton.
We can go to my Kesau.
I think everybody
you going to cook us out. Go ahead.
Win. I will start off by saying, I want you to think about it. If Gonglo people say Gonglo will win. Clarence people say Clarence will win. Cummins people say Cummins will win. JMB people say JMB will win. Okay, that's all of us business. But combine the figures of what people are predicting. And that is why when we sit down, we say Josh Weah will be a one-term president. Here we are today receiving credible reports that the CDC agent 1 operative Musa Hassan Belete, who was picked by Cummins to run his campaign, who is just caught on tape 72 hours ago, was caught on tape saying, fellow seditions.
Like, so I don't want to explain. And so, fellow sedition, even in his heydays, even in Dillon's heydays, he can.
Yeah, they may not do the thing so much until
he misspoke what he was saying.
If you misspoke, you will catch yourself, Dr. Francine.
But Dr. Francine, that's not fair, though. We're going to give Fagon his time because we got to move on. Please, I beg you, ma'am.
This man have gone ahead. CDC did not put a candidate against him in District 7. As a result of that, he went and took care of Fons Wagale. He took care of Way. Way is the CPP chairman in Nimba County. Paul Way. Write it down, Dr. Francine. He's the CPP chairman. Then he took care of Fons Wagale. Those two people have resigned from your party because Belete took care of them. And when Belete took them with 40,000 to go join CDC, the motorbikes they carry, the 40 motorbikes they get to the people in Nimba, all of them going beyond Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kun. So they said that St. Paul, where they finished selling the party to CDC, they can never go with CDC. I am saying to you, any ways you put it, add your Cummins number if it's genuine. Add Gonglo number if it's genuine. Add Clarence Moneyback number if it's genuine. Put it to JMB number. An opposition is an opposition unless they are spies or they are operatives. So, can anybody look at me and tell me George Weah will win? You can't win. But let's look at why we are projecting a first-round victory. And that is why I must first of all commend Spoon. They're going in all the counties. And CDC send their own people in the counties. And the people say, hey, finish. Y'all go back Morel, y'all go sleep. They like it, they can spend all that money they want to spend. Their time is over. And I submit to you, look at Joe Weah in Pastor talking about Coca-Cola. Then he talking about, we're thinking about how we pay the economy. After 6 years, you cut people pay from $150 to $45. You say you want pay economy? Your government have carried out extrajudicial killings. Then you say that Coca-Cola Bene, you go talk to the people of Bassa. You have brought Kush into the country, $100 million worth every time over the period of 5 years, until one day the American people caught you. And even the day they caught you, 3 weeks later, you're bringing another 40 million. Then you tell the people, say, that Coca-Cola they brought to them 20 years ago, how when your government told over how you talk to your friend in Europe, you ever see Coca-Cola before? Why are you lying to the people? So, the people of Cape Town, they were given cyanide to drink. They can never vote for George Weah with all their gold gone. Because George Weah cannot show one thing he did in Cape Town. When it comes to bombing, I don't need to tell anybody our story. Our road then cut into 3 different places. The whole road that Ellie Johnson and Joe Braga left with us is damaged. Our iron ore gone. None of our people hired. So we already know what will happen there. When you go to Bapolu, the Bapolu men were running for senator. Samuel Tuer, best friend, who gave us stories about the Melodian Challenge having only 2 things. At the end of the day, he has said statistics. Unfortunately, I don't know whether the people ready vote for him. Because now he tied himself to the regime. If you come down to Lofa, the records are there. If you come down to Bong, NPP is no longer in the coalition. If you go up to Nimba, Davla. If you come down to Mosorado, Sefini. If you go down to Basel, the poor, ask you that back here. Something wrong with you? What can you show? The people I was even worried about, which is the people of Ganjide, they call me. They say, Fagon, that cow people friendship we enjoy, we are getting now. Because in 2005, we stood with Jowea. 2011, we stood with Jowea. 2017, we stood with Jowea. You, and that's what the people said to me in the meeting, you without your mouth, why you carry that on our platform? You must come tell us what Jowea did in Grand Jide before you open your mouth and tell us say that we the one who vote for Grand. Why you taking Crown people to be? The poster insulting me. What are you taking Crown people to be? We know that stupid people to you. Let Jowea bring all his money. We'll show him that when somebody hang out with you for 18 years, you don't leave them and go in different country and be supporting. Now, granted that I was worried about, let's go to Sando. The people said the way they came Mabutu Nyimpa, that we the one you're looking at, you want us to destroy Mabutu Nyimpa? We'll never do it. We Sando people will hold together. So just get your story on that side. Let's look at Grand Coup, the road going into Barclayville. The road are going, they put out our quota, the road finish. They got someone I need for, hey, you put a quota down, you just put rock inside. The road damage. So as for Maryland, you got Kumis. But they menstruate, right? Say Kumina get in Maryland. So people say that you. That one will finish. James Barney is there. What has George Weah done for the people of Maryland? Tottenham College, the streets, and what have you? Nothing. When we are predicting a first-round victory, and I will close by this, I was in the government. I was one of the escort crowds in the government. And I can tell you for free, anytime George Weah travel, take out the EPS people from there. They're more than 150, they're already there. Take out the police people from there. Take out the army guys that you see there. Take out members of the joint security. After you take out those 4 groups, take out all the government ministers, the deputies, the assistants, the director. Then you go to their girlfriend there, their wife there, and their family. Take that group from there. Then when you finish, go for the, I will say people, the sedition you can see with the beret. Take them from there. What do you see? The actual photo then standing on the Palawa Hall looking at it like, after 6 years, really? After 6 years, like what you bring to us, then all of them running around, jumping all around. The same crowd goes everywhere. Nobody stays behind. And why is that so? In the chat room, and Stanton, I beg you, let me say this. In the chat room, the Jordan Slunter will go in the chat room. The president will be going to Kawa today. If you're not working, you need to be present. What we used to do? That how all the people wake up, get in the government car and whoa. a George Weah called himself man. If he's going to Cape Man bombing and the other area, let him lead every sedition from the capital behind. Let him carry Eugene Angman the campaign team. If he go to Cape Man, let him do the same thing. If he don't have security, let the army provide security. Let him be in the green army uniform. You will see what pour water in coconut.
Thank you, Fagon.
You will get one round for killing our citizens, for corrupting our country.
In the chat, can you please put it up?
And last but not least, for bringing tons of drugs to the country.
Just something, guys. Thank you very much for your point. A very good one. But I know you are here to sell your candidate. We have the CPP, the Tewangonglo LPP, the Unity Party, and the Lino. Okay? When Wosi join us, he's half CDC and half whatsoever. Again, want to say thank you. This is the Spoon Talk. But Gibson, I want to be serious for once. So this is the George Manning we are during those days. This is President we are. Look at the kind of laptop he using. Since 1847, the first laptop that was created by Bill Gates, right? This is George Weah. Let's look at now. The man is asking the people to vote for him, the people from the Southeastern region. See exactly what President Weah did to his own people. Understand, my fellow Liberian, President Weah built this thing they call a house in Grand Crew. Where he from? This is what he built. That he never slept into this. He never entered this building. But he tell the people, say, your Sano people or your Grand Crew people or your Maryland people, you guys don't have sense. Y'all see my president in Grand Crew? And this is what President Weah built for himself. And this is what President Weah built for himself. So you guys begin to understand that who's the real George Manning we are here. He go in the interior, he built this. And this is the presidential palace in Grand Crew. This is it.
Don't stop, man. Are the presidential palace there?
This is the presidential palace in Grand Crew.
Yes,
this is it. This is President George. This is President George Manning. We are Unsa House in Grand Crew. Piggy, Fagon. Sorry for calling you Piggy. But you see where you see Damana in Kakata in Bonkante. All my drones, all the Piggy are going around.
Jesus.
How can you have a president for 6 years lie to his own people? For 6 years. I agree with each and every one of the opposition here tonight. That President Weah can never ever be
We have to validate
Joe Weah bill. Let's forget about the home on 9th Street. I will put up that picture of that 9th Street home. Let's forget about the one that he was living in that he left. And we can put up that picture too because I was his next door neighbor. But let's talk about what you are saying now. This is President George Manning Weah building. Beside the one you call this one where he can go and chill to have everything. And this is the presidential palace. Hey, Prince Maxwell, cannot Dr. Moruba do this to his people?
Absolutely not.
People. You suffer
Absolutely
the people.
Not.
Let me use my 2 minutes. I beg you to use my 2 minutes. Almost finished. Dr.
Let me use it.
It's
Let me
almost
use
finished.
it.
This is the vice president of today, Dr. Jewel Howard Taylor. And behind her is Edwin Snow that is MIA. Send the name him. Chief strategist. Edwin Snow went missing in action. He's on an ECOWAS mission. He will come back this week to Liberia. Then he must leave again next week because he want to have nothing to do with George Manning Weah. And the only assignment is Edwin Snow you must have is to talk to your friend in ECOWAS just in case we steal the election that they can cover us for us. You don't mess with Edwin Snow. You do not mess with Edwin Snow. You know very well that Edwin Snow is all about Edwin Snow. I will move on to say, my Liberian people, Fagon, help me out. Who is this guy, Fagon? And then I will give you the show to finish. Who is this guy? Fagon, you are muted. You got to unmute, Fagon. You are muted.
That's somebody.
Yeah, what's his name?
Why do you want to do a 50?
Fagon, what's the guy's name?
My brief freezy.
Hey, Choco, that his name?
Choco Rao.
And what's his job title?
EPS director.
Where is he today?
Senate man levy ban in America.
The man said he will never go back to work for George Manning Weah.
You joking?
The man said, and I don't want to put my picture up. The man said the thing that George Weah did to him. He will never ever go back to work for John Manawea. John Manawea took his position and get off in a bundle.
Wait.
Fagon, I'm not here to talk about this guy. Let me leave the guy alone. Fagon, don't do this to me. I won't talk about this guy. The man took 10 to 15 suitcases from Liberia. And since he left, he said to hell with President Weah and his government, I don't want to die that Blamo, our best friend, Jones Blamo. He said, I don't want to die like Jones Blamo. Liberians people need to know these things.
They couldn't give the man job to somebody, sir.
You mean a director? A director?
Liberian people need to know this thing.
Wow. Not an officer.
The says that for the 8-day trip, you remember?
My man, by a baking man, I mean, with that. Don't let me say what I want to say. Let's talk about this thing.
No, don't say it. We'll keep it.
But let me keep it. The man saying that if nobody is afraid of Joe Weah, he can never go back to Liberia after the election because he knows Joe Weah will not win.
A director? If he was an officer,
director.
If he was an officer, he say, "Oh, you hustling," but he presides over the security of the president.
Why y'all think that we will do this thing over and over and y'all can ask questions? Let me do the round. I know you want to talk about your candidate, but I want you to incorporate your conversation, Gibson and Prince and our sister Kowu, into why President Weah, director of the EPS, he was sidelined, he got sick, and he said he can never go back to Liberia after the election because you know Joe Weah cannot win. Have anybody asked question? Have anyone asked why Trocon is out of the country?
Since that time, walk up.
Have anyone asked the EPS director, the man that right there with George Manawea, why he ran away from George Manawea? Can somebody tell me about this lady?
And 40 other EPS people give it.
Who that lady? You'll be here, you'll say you won't have a show and you're scared. But I won't scare you. I would never be afraid. God see all that I do. God is good to me. He will give me everything that I need. Oh, God, help me to be good and keep me from sin. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. When we say this thing, people go ahead and say, Fagon, I beg you, Prince, you're coming. That Fagon says something small about Trocon because I won't post this picture. I beg you, Prince. Hey, Prince, you will have my time. You will have my time. I want to say something about this. The reason why Trocon said he can never go to Liberia, that the people explain to the Liberian people how the EPS director got killed in Nimba. That they explain. If you all remember this story.
How about the email setting? Yeah. However, happy with me. We'll call. I cheated there. Who did call?
What did you say?
We'll
So you think my chest are hurting?
What happened to me? No. What tell you what happened to you? I should tell you.
You'll be free. Things will be okay by the grace of God.
I'm going.
Never can I think confusing my whole life with money. There's so money.
No.
How you say they
waste my time?
How you say they getting ready to kill you? Never can I think talking the money so now. What are you talking?
Extrajudicial killings.
There's a reason why I'm bringing this picture up and I'm bringing this story up. This is election season. Let's be fair to our fellow Liberian. You heard what the gentleman said to his wife and how this thing ended up. Liberians, this is how it ended up. He was killed. He was killed. I'm going to put this in there for you to see the casket. The man got married. He had a family. He had a beautiful wife. He was working for Joe Weah. Take care of Joe Weah. Then you want to ask question, where is Trocon Robert? Fagon, take it away. I want to ask why is Trocon
Well,
Robert?
I said this to you guys.
And you play this clip. Let people say I'm gonna play it one more time. Fagon, I beg you, let me play it one more time and you speak. When the man said "Une go," and he said that government. Let's play this again.
How about the setting? Yeah. How about the call? We'll call. I cheated there. Who did call?
What did you say?
We'll call.
So you think my chest are hurting?
What happened to me yet? No. What tell you what happened to you? I should tell you.
You'll be free. Things will be okay by the grace of God.
I'm going.
Never can I think confusing my whole life with money, so money.
And you hear what the man say? That government, if I gonna talk to us, man.
Well,
This is election time, and you're wasting the Liberian people time. This government, when they charge them for extrajudicial killing Prince, I know that Tomoba is a gentleman, he's a Liberian, he's a good man. Tewan Gonglo will fight for justice. That say what you want to say about Mr. Cummings. I believe in him. If there were no other person in this race, we can talk to Mr. Cummings. He will make a good leader. Just like Yaman Barker, you understand where he stands. But this is a man crying for his life. Why he got killed, we got a picture. How many times he got killed, we got a picture. We got a video because the location. And I will play this week. They can call the people, they can put me in jumpsuit, they can put me in orange and purple jumpsuit. The Liberian people will hear our voices because you know why? We will be in Bon County tomorrow on the radio station. We'll be in Nima County and I will let the people hear me. We will be in Lofa, we'll be in Grand Bassa, the people will hear us. This nonsense have to stop. President George Mann, we are extrajudicial killing. The man crying to his wife, Une God, that government, and they kill him, and they kill him, and they kill him. And you don't want us to tell the Liberian people you want to shut us down? Shut us down. The people will hear the message. Honorable Fagon, talk to us.
Well, Stanton, that is why when I look at people who say, Fagon, you know, you stay my friend, but I have chosen my side. You just told me you are a murderer. But I'm not going to tell you to your face that you are a murderer. Because you and I, when you tell me you are supporting, like the likes of Sam Jackson, when you tell me you're supporting George Mia, I see you like I see a murderer. And I ask, what if it was you? On the morning of that gruesome murder, I got a call from Finabono, and I think I informed the Liberian people. Fagon, you have to tell Liberian people one EPS major case. When I asked her how, just go and tell the people one EPM man just committed suicide, he killed himself. Was I on that trip? Yes, I was on that trip. How did I get back to Monrovia? In a taxi that you can see the ground of the taxi. And y'all who on the platform, you need to listen to me. Why? Because me and Maggie rode together until we got to Ganta. Where Omen Jukuju came from, the foreign minister, he had a Land Cruiser Jeep. He decided to disembark from his Jeep, and he told me, Fagon, my man, I want to discuss something serious with Maggie. Just around my Jeep. We're going to the next town. We're not going to no next town. I sat in her Jeep from our hotel, the Jackie Place, to I know they say Alvino, where the president was. The president was delayed to come out. So I looking at the guy sitting in the Jeep, his so-called bodyguard. I spoke to the driver, man, what's up? He said, Minister, nothing was you. I said, hey, what's up? The man just say now, let's talk about Bobo. Let's talk Burkinabe. Extremely huge guy. So I'm sitting behind the passenger side, and this so-called Bobo security is sitting in the front and can't talk. I can't see a face. And I'm informing Liberian people, that's how, when we got near Avino, I just opened the door, I got down. He looked at the driver said, but Minister, where are you going? I said, don't worry about me. I'll get another car. I went straight back to the hotel. I picked up my bag. I got in a taxi where you can see the ground and headed for Monrovia because I saw it differently. Well, I know what controlled me, but I left and I came to Banga, got in a real decent car, came back to Monrovia. What happened there? In the morning, Fina called me. Who confirmed this? Prince Johnson. He said it happened where? Stanton behind here, we know. He was watching. But when the government spoke, the government said the man shot himself 3 times in the head. When you shoot yourself one time, what bring you guy again to tell you to shoot the second time? Your brain flash. So again, you said talk to me. Look at James Blambo. Let them explain the way he died. Deputy NSA boss. And from the tip, that's not the only tip, bro. That's not the only tip. How many times was he shot? You will see more. Let the campaign continue. The fact of the matter is, he saw something, the reports we got were in government. He saw something and he started shaking. And the group of so-called murderers felt that he was going to spill the beans. And that's how they carry him. And according to the information we gathered, whatever you want to call it, they say, but the rumors were strong. They took a gun from him and told him to run. So let them say how many bullets went in his back before the one that went in his head execution start. So I'm saying again, when I hear poor talk, you think about the auditors. Gefty Lama left for children to carry the laptop. She never came back home. Abba Peter left and told his wife, I'll be back. His wife today is somewhere where you and I know, but we can't talk. He never came back home. Matthew Innes went to go see his boss. When I saw his body on the street. George from Butu coming home, who don't know SKB Boulevard? Is that a highway where you can go 70 or 60 miles per hour? Impossible at 4 o'clock. You can look at the whole straight in your head from here, from the side. Everybody trying to hide something and people are dying. And that is why the Liberian people are saying, we're done with extrajudicial killings. We're done with drugs. We're done with corruption. We're done with poverty. You must go. And when Liberian people take that decision, they take it. And today, this man's wife is in hiding because of what she got. This is one of the recording release. And they believe that she got more, but they don't know.
And we will play all of it. We got it, folks. Just get ready because we will play it because it is important for Liberian to hear the other clips. And you know, listen, guys. Listen. You're going to come in and Prince will come in. Membe, Kowu, and Dr. Richie say, talk about your candidate. But how can Liberia go through another 6 years of torture? I want you to explain to Liberian people. Talk to me, Gibson, and then Prince Maxwell.
You know, I think the Liberian people, if we have the opportunity to split the hair and put the information there, close it back and seal it up so that the information will not leave their head, we could do that. But unfortunately, we cannot do that. The individual that we are dealing with, the man who is the president that we are dealing with, is a highly unforgiving individual. Highly unforgiving individual. Someone who likes to pay debt. In the Liberian, put it in a simple Liberian English. Someone who likes to pay debt. How do I know this man? Those days when he used to play, I used to write for Sports Chronicle. Those of you who know Sports Chronicle. And because Pro Chronicle, we used to write critical story on him. Some of us will go to the press conference, Joe, we are both outside. He wants to see us. Especially me. I think Ronnie was one of them, and one other guy who used to be with us. That's the kind of man I'm talking about. That's way back in the 80s. Well, we should know this guy. You know, when you're telling the people, those who do not read beyond the present, they think you are playing fun. A regime that is in place and people are dying and no investigation is going on, and as if it is business as usual. Not only that there's no investigation going on, but he does not even speak to it. He does not even speak to it. Look, when you play that tape, I've listened to the tape. The first time I listened to it, I felt so bad. How can this man, He cried for his death before he was killed. That man cried for his death before he was killed. He was giving his last words on earth, seeing the death coming to him, knowing that he will be dealt with, knowing that he will be killed. And even he was telling his wife, she couldn't comprehend. But he was speaking, because he's a security man, he was telling his wife in tongues. And she couldn't understand. But yet
we can't talk. Comment.
Now, when they say somebody, I don't even know how you can shoot yourself in the head and you still standing there, you crack again and shoot again. I just don't understand. Today, the government has not given us a true story as to what happened to this brother. And Melvin died a death that is regrettable. And I know the spirit of all those who died during George Weah administration will hunt him one by one. They will hunt him one by one. And you will get to pay one day, and you will pay dearly.
Yeah. Anyway, first, let me just start off by saying that I just want to bring people to know that this is the reason why Dr. Clarence Moniba is running first and foremost. He's taking this message of extrajudicial killings, which has been proven in the U.S. government's report to Liberia, to understand that the security of Liberian people is at stake because there are facts to these things. And everywhere he goes, he makes absolutely clear to Liberian people that this issue is not an issue to joke with. Now, usually on this show, I don't like to say on a personal note, but I have to say this on a personal note because I'm here in a professional capacity. Unfortunately, I have to deal with this story of Melvin. When Melvin died, I went on Facebook and I posted a comment. The reason was simple. I personally worked with Melvin for 5 good years. As the Assistant Chief of Protocol to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Melvin was part of my responsibility everywhere we go, both international and domestic. I've spoken to most of the people that I know as it pertains to this. Melvin, as I stated in my message on Facebook, Melvin was a professional diplomatic officer. He knew his weapon. He knew how to handle his weapon. He knew the risk that was associated with his weapon. He knew the public safety that was associated with his weapon. Melvin took an oath of office to serve Liberia. And he served Liberia well. Melvin came to work every day. He served the former president. He served current former vice president. He served ministers. He served former ministers. He served justices and chief justices of Liberia. He served senators. He served representatives. There is no one in the Republic of Liberia who have served in government do not know Melvin Ellis. Do not know of Melvin in any way. If anyone would tell me that, I will tell you you're a liar, because you had to go through Melvin and his group of officers in order to come to the president's office. Melvin was a professional officer. Melvin served Liberia with dignity. Whatever happened to Melvin, for me, I will say it from a personal perspective again, I'm still looking at the case. I'm still trying to understand why, how, what was actually involved in that. But now we know that the U.S. government has put a basket of killings in Liberia as extrajudicial killing. We know that for a fact because it is in the recent U.S. government report, State Department report on Liberia. So it is very, very important that further investigation into Melvin Ellis' death be brought forth. It is very important that the EPS organization take upon themselves to fully investigate this case, because Melvin's record within the EPS has always been pristine. His colleague and former colleague all they know this very, very well. And it's very shameful that all of a sudden we have a code of silence over this entire investigation. This is on President Weir's to be able, and the CDC-led government, to be able to state clearly what happened to Melvin Ellis. And why is it that his family right now is in hiding in any shape and form? They shouldn't be, because Melvin served his country with pride and dignity. If there's anything that his family should be enjoying right now, it's not fear, it's success. Melvin served 2 presidents, and those 2 presidents are alive and well today. He served Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, distinction. He served President George Weah with distinction. They both of them are alive. So he accomplished his responsibility. The responsibility of every EPS officer is to make sure the life and property of the president and his immediate are safe and sound. The fact that he became the victim of some circumstances is a sad event for anyone to even comprehend. And this is the reason why Liberian people have a question mark over the George Weah-led government at this present moment. This is the reason why people are having second thought over the fact that President Weah has allowed certain things he never even should have allowed in the first place. One of those things is this. 2 of those things. 1, President Weah right now has no defining national project in his name. Every project President Weah has worked on, the CDC-led government has worked on, has been as the result of the former government. President Weah has not worked on any major national developmental project that wasn't carried on by the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf-led government. On the issue of law, there's all of the laws in Liberia right now was previously written and coded by different legislatures before George Weah government. The issue of the dual citizenship law, the reason why Liberians were forced, or the CDC-led government was forced to do that, is because the diaspora community have a major effect on Liberia, major economic and social effect on Liberia. It wouldn't have been wise for any other president to just pass it by. So it was an easy win. That is not sufficient. The second point to this is this.
30 seconds, please.
30 seconds. 2 key areas President Weah and the CDC-led government has failed. President Weah grew up in Gibraltar. One factor in Gibraltar, one of the factors in Gibraltar was 1, poverty. The second factor was on education. When George Weah took over, the Liberian people expected President Weah to focus more on education and poverty reduction. Those 2 areas, President Weah has no major national project that is specifically tied to his name for 6 years. So if anyone thinks that President Weah does not have a presidential legacy, he does have a legacy right now. He has a 6-year legacy, and that 6 years legacy, we see too much holes and failures in it. And that is the reason why Dr. Moniba and Grace Pan are running assiduously to replace him in the first place, because the youth of Nigeria are now tired with him.
Thank you, my brother Maxwell. And again, thank you very much for letting us know that you knew this guy, you worked with him. Again, I got off because I got remote information to help our folks understand the manner in which this gentleman died. Be patient. This week, I'm trying to get it right. We set the day that we own the radio station in Nima County, in Bon County this week. And we will play the video for Liberians to see. How dare you trust this government? How dare you? Let me bring in our sister Kowu, then we'll go to Abula and Dr. Richardson. Sister Kowu.
Thank you, CEO. So yes, on this issue, the choking robbers issue, I know there was a media stunt about himself, not quite followed since then. But on this issue that we're looking at, you know, it saddens me. It's very sad. You know, we Catholics, we say a very important prayer when we speak to the Holy Mother. We say, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death, because that is the last hour of struggle. But as Gibson said, to experience the notion that you could be leaving long before that final hour. You know, it must be tormenting. And we heard a video saddened when he said, this is government, and at many levels, because, you know, I talk about the political patronage in our country. How people see the government as being extremely powerful. It's good we heard a video. And like Maxwell said, we look forward to seeing a lot more information come out that will bring closure to this. But as it is, it's clearly a situation that is featured. It's a situation that is sad, unfortunate, because when people go into public service, it's to honor and serve their government and their country. And putting a flag on a casket cannot be the only way the country pays them back with a flag. The country has to be able to reward their service with honor, with benefits, that their family will say, oh, my dad, my husband, my friends served this country before. And this is why we see. There has to be a system. And that's why we support Honorable Joseph Yima Boyka, so that when people leave government, they leave it with honor. They leave it with some kind of benefit. That's why you see all the corruption and stealing, because people say, when I'm out of here, this is it for me. But I know that, and you know, my deepest, you know, sympathy goes to the family. I'm sure they're still grieving, even as they hear us on Spoon tonight. And justice, no matter how long, it will come. Because where there are living people, especially Liberian people, they talk. So one day, in its totality, we'll be able to put this to rest. But I'm telling you that this is not about politics. This is about reality. When I say support an experienced leader who has relevant experience, who's a statesman, who knows that this country is deeply divided on many fronts, then we need to bring this country together. Who will be concerned about how he has to face the families if anything were to happen, anything were to go wrong. So, I mean, we all are sure are very saddened by this. We look forward to seeing and hear more about it. This is the officer who left on duty. I don't know if there was something fancy or historical about that trip, that he decided to, you know, commit a suicide on a trip away from home. But we hope that one day there will be total closure on this matter. But to conclude, it is not politics. It's just the urgency. This is a crucial time in our history. This story, again, is another reminder of the need to go to the polls and vote Honorable Joseph Yima Boyka for a change that is substantive. Vote the opposition for better Liberia. We're not just saying it out of politics. We're saying it because the state of our affairs now requires that men take action so that history record them. Thank you.
Go, you know what? Thank you very much. This is not about politics. You are right. And thank you. I should say this. Before we even bring Abula, this is about Liberia we are talking about. Abula, we are talking about Liberians. Listen to Kou. He woke up. He went to work. He went to work, trusting to come back home with his family, 3 beautiful children. The wife is running away from one country to another country. She's crying. They can't, no food to eat. The government is saying to her, you must go back on social media and denounce that the government were involved. That's the only way we can give you your husband pension. How can this be in the Liberia we know of today? President George Manuel Weah traveled all over the country, play soccer all over the world, play soccer. And in his own backyard, People are dying without investigation. You reckon this is not about politics? People are dying in this man's backyard. This man should be held responsible for those deaths. 4 months, 2 weeks after he got married. The one that we play, y'all never see it before. And y'all say the man shot his head 3 times in his head. Yo, wait, let's play this video. Yo, wait. I love time and season. 4 months, 2 weeks after Richardson, after they just got married. And I want folks to understand this. They just got married. Look at President Joe Biden. We are asking for holy oil. And somebody just come from getting married to his beautiful wife. And guess what happened? They say he shot himself 3 times.
He was executed.
The bullet went in his head the first time he died. Then he had the strength again to put the gun to his head again and shoot again. He died. Then he went for the 3rd time again. Look at this beautiful couple. Some of you guys got married 4 months, 2 weeks after they got married. 4 months, 2 weeks. I want people to think about these pictures. And now we come to this place. Allow me to play one more. I hope I don't play the other clip I want to play. The government said never heard this other clip before. It will be the first time on Spoon we play it, but I will keep it. And we're in election season, the people must know. The man crying. And after this, Abula, my brother, I want you to come in, please, and Dr. Richardson.
How about you have an email setting? Yeah. However, I'm happy with me. We'll call. I Gina Devin. Who did call?
What did you say?
We'll call.
So you think my chest are hurting?
What happened to me yet? No. What tell you what happened to you? I should tell you.
You'll be free. Things will be okay by the grace of God.
I'm going.
Never can I think confusing my whole life the money.
No.
How you say they
waste my time?
How you say they getting ready to kill you? Never can I think you talking the money so now. What are you talking?
Wow. How can people be getting ready to kill? They're getting ready to kill me, Mame. They're getting ready, plenty. I can see them. They're discussing. I can see them. They're getting ready to kill me. Oh, they're getting ready to kill me. And that very picture when he was on his phone, I about to show the picture, but you talk to us, Mame. You talk to us.
It's sad. It's sad to see somebody preempting their death or watching the preparation of their death, witnessing the ceremony leading to their death. It's a very disturbing situation to watch. But Liberians have seen all these. They witness it, see the evidence, they regret the action. But I always love to think about how would it be with a George Weah second term? After seeing all these things happening, what do we expect for additional 6 years under this man? Santo, I took something from you. You said the lady said they are asking her to come back on social media and undo all her statements before she can get her husband just benefit. That is George Weah. Bow to him or perish. That is George Weah. bow or perish. Today, James Salensa Diba, I just want to draw that connection to bow or perish. That's George Weah philosophy. Today, James Salensa Diba declares support for George Weah. Reluctantly, swallowing pain, he declares support for George Weah. Bow or perish. If you know Diba, he's a very straightforward, independent thinker. But we are subdue him to nothing, to the point where his life, his survival, begins so important and at risk that he had to bow, or else he would have perished. Additional 6 years under George Weah, many Liberians will have to bow or perish. This lady who is complaining for her husband's just benefit will have to bow or she will perish. That's the fear that lies ahead of us. We're talking to Liberians who put it in simple English. The next 6 years under George Weah will be dangerous. Today, it is not your family, so you feel comfortable. Today, it is not your relative, so you feel comfortable. Who expected that it would have been James Diba today that will have to bow because he was perishing? Who expect that Alex's wife, for a just benefit, will have to come back on social media to undo the fact only for her to receive her husband's just benefit? This man is begging for second term. He's doing this to you. Imagine if you gave him power and he consolidate power with resources. Many of people who don't have other means of surviving in that country will have to bow to George Weah or they will perish. That's the risk ahead of us I'm looking at, and I always like to highlight. Everything that happened from 2017 to 2023, the people see it. What they're not seeing is what will happen after if this man consolidates power and wealth. You will bow or you will perish.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Richardson. Can you take us home on this? The rest of the videos and the clips, I'm going to keep them. It is important for us to do so because it's after 7 and after 11 in Liberia. Dr. Richardson, please.
Yeah, I'm also very sad about hearing about the death of the EPS officer. It's a tough thing to sort of take in right now. I'm so sorry, Maxwell, you who knew him personally. Um, I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and this story I have not really quite understood, why anybody want to kill him or anybody else in Liberia. I don't know. The only thing I can think about when it comes to extrajudicial killing is when a leader has a low self-esteem or he feels like other people are a threat to him. Then he tries to eliminate those people that are around him, and it could be the situation in the EPS officer. It could be a situation in the auditors where maybe they have a specific documentation that President Weah felt were going to tarnish his reputation, and so that led him to eliminate them. But again, when the president starts to harm other people or even eliminate other people, it suggests to us that we are not safe in our own country. It suggests, that security issues. This is what makes a lot of Liberians don't want to even leave their home. Sometimes they don't want to go out because you never know who's gonna, catch you and take your human rights away from you. Definitely, as we know, judicial killing falls on a violation of human rights, and so it's difficult. It's difficult. The only thing I can say, let's elect someone, a leader. My preference would be Mr. Cummings, but many of the other leaders in the opposition will just bring back the rule of law, and where people can have at least due process. You're not just going to just be killed, just because you're alive. And definitely, Mr. Cummings says something that I think is appropriate in this situation. he wants to, you know, change and work on the hearts and minds of Liberians. Where we are, there's so many different, you know, psychological symptoms that we are showing right now, including low self-esteem, trauma, you know, from where we've been at. And so I think he often speaks about using our arts, culture, music to just, you know, tell us things about when you're traumatized, you know, you will exhibit low self-esteem. You see everybody's a threat. And this is not with George, you are feeling low self-esteem and everybody's a threat. This didn't start today. You know, when you read any biography of him, anything about him, it tells you that his feeling of insecurity started a long time ago. You know, this is why there was a lot of arguments on the football team that he played for. This is why, you know, he couldn't get along with many of the people in government. You see, many of the people who started with him, you find that he drops them, and then he also picks up a new group, and then eventually he will drop somebody else. And the only reason why he keeps people around him are the people who he feels are more competent than he is. Like, for example, he keeps Twe around him because he knows Twe might appear to be competent in thinking about a budget. So Liberians, this is an opportunity for us. October 10th, let's make sure that we can elect a leader who will definitely put our country in the right direction. That people will not be afraid to go outside because you feel like, you know, you get kidnapped by your government. I thought we're long past this situation. I mean, there was a time when I was growing up, you know, where people used to say, "How man will kill you." You know, this is almost the same situation. You know, like how man can, if he elected again this time, it would be how man killing us and taking our body parts and doing different things with it. So you know, let's just work and pray and be more informed about how we elect our next leader.
Thank you very much, Dr. Richardson, and thanks for the last line. We need to be more informed because this is what we need to do as a people. Our country deserves better. Our people are depending on us to give them the information. Trust me, it shall be well. The day will come that we will celebrate as Liberian, home and abroad, to talk about that which is right for our country. On another side note, we want to announce that this week, probably tomorrow, the body of the late Senator Daniel Nathan from CPP will be in the country. We'd like to announce to all of the CPP and the family of Daniel Nathan that, again, our sympathy. The body of the late Senator Daniel Nathan will be in the country. You remember Daniel Nathan from Lofa County, Senator Daniel Flomo Nathan. The family here that I know, my father-in-law and the rest of the family who is related to him, they call him Daniel Nathan. So I laugh and say Nathan or Nathan, but you know it's a traditional name. And again, his body will be flown from India to Liberia this week, probably tomorrow. We got to give that announcement. So I will also add that a lot of resignation coming the way. The reason why I'm leaving this story a little bit because we got 2 other videos to show, and we'll do that probably tomorrow or Wednesday. We got again, it's a big news coming from something the government have not seen about this EPS got death. We got to share it, make sure that we face it well, then we'll share it with the public. We also want to announce that I don't know what's happening. We can talk about the CDC, we can talk about UP, but what's happening, the information reaching us that Mr. Cummings have put aside $3 billion. The team, it's not Mr. Cummings' money now, but CPP have put aside $3 billion for the campaign. What is happening here with the $3 million? They are waiting for Louis Brown to come up with the announcement. So from the chat room, we're going to read this message real quick. We're going to read this. This is a message I was sent out yesterday from the CPP higher chat room. Guys, you can read it. They had to cancel. They have to cancel their announcement for this week and reschedule for a date to be announced. They are still working on modalities, as you can see. Good morning. Please be informed that the press conference to officially name the CPP 2023 campaign team has been scheduled for tomorrow, has been postponed to another date. So they were planning to have this announcement today by Mr. Louis Brown, but they are saying it has been postponed to another date. The head of the team Cummings, Mr. Louis Brown, will announce the new date soonest. We are sorry for any inconvenience this may cause. Meanwhile, we are encouraging everyone to intensify mobilization activities utilizing the interpersonal or geo-witness approach. Everything is humanly being done, resolve the logistic and other challenges you are facing. I want to hold on to the last part in my closing because I'm closing now. Eugene Fagon, Prince Maxwell, my sister Kowu, Mame, and Dr. Richardson. Everything is humanly being done. Resolve the logistics and other challenges you are facing. Today, because of some folks on the opposition within the CPP belt, they are not receiving those logistics, no motorbike, no cars, no money. Those are running on the CPP ticket. The county chairman, they are all going angry and they are saying that they will resign from the party. I asked some of them, why are you resigning? One of them said, Mr. Cummings gave 20 motorbikes to Bon County and asked Henry, the senator, what's his name? Henry Tukpa. Is that his name, Fagon? I think he's the second senator, and asked him to give 7 or 6 of those.
Henry Tukpa.
Dr. Henry Tukpa, 7 or 6 of those to Magibi. The people of Magibi said, do you bring that nonsense here? We will teach you. Do not, you are not our senator. Don't give us anything that Mr. Cummings gave you. Mr. Cummings sent 64 motorbike and 3 pickup truck to Nima County. I asked the gentleman, why are you resigning? The gentleman, they are not pleased. The chairman of Nima County is in strong disagreement with Musa Belete, and I received this letter today. It's very important for us to read that which is right, folks. People are leaving the Cummings team. I don't know why. They gave me different information, but in my closing and passing by, dear Mr. Kulai, today is the 14th, August 14, 2023. That's a letter of resignation from the CPP County Chairman, Paul Zloy Way Sr. That's the man name. Did I pronounce it right, Fago?
Yeah, Way.
Way.
Why you can't
Way.
ask me from Nima? Let me pronounce it.
Sorry, Mama, you're right. Can you please pronounce it for us? You are right, Mama.
Way.
Yep. Way. Again, the man said he resigning. I'm still looking for his number to call him. But again, because I'm in the chat room, I got the letter. So bear with me as I read the letter. I didn't ask for it. I'm in the chat room, so I must get it right. And I'm not in your chat room, Prince Maxwell. I'm not in your chat room. Don't worry about that, please. I will soon be in your chat room, trust me. I hope you are doing great in health. I write to tender my resignation as co-chairman of the campaign team and suspend my membership with the CPP as chairman for Nima County. I am grateful for the opportunity afforded me to serve as the leader of the Liberty Party and subsequently the CPP. I joined the CPP in hope of winning elections and creating a political power that will serve the need of the Liberian people. I envision a country where all people are treated equally, regardless of which party one belongs within the collaboration. Unfortunately, this was not the case, and I can no longer stand by and watch helplessly. This is not the job that I signed up for. I signed up for the job that I will raise the hope of the Liberian people and support my leadership and not create a parallel campaign team. I want you to read this letter because I got a lot of information coming to me, text message back and forth, that creating this problem. Louis Brown, George Wisner, Toga McIntosh. The folks are saying to Mr. Cummings, they cannot talk to Mr. Cummings directly. Mr. Cummings has blocked his cell phone. You must go through Louis Brown. You must go through George Wisner. And that's a problem for the chairman and co-chairman in those counties. They are resigning. They are moving on to other political parties. And they are asking to come on Spoon. Therefore, for the reasons stated above, I am hereby resigning from the CPP as co-chairman of Nima campaign team and suspending my membership as of August 14, 2023. I wish everyone in my former party the best in future and hope that if our path ever cross in the future, which will be 2029, it can be better than now. That's the main letter. Folks, I come in peace. The reason why I'm saying this, they are mad. Mr. Cummings has set aside $3 million, and folks in Liberia, they are thinking about how they would distribute the money, and they are ignoring the needs of those running under the CPP banner and the CPP ticket, and the chairman and co-chairman of the county. They asked me to send Damo to Nimba, so therefore we are sending Damo in all the counties. They say Mr. Cummings' picture is not in Nimba. Mr. Cummings not supporting them. Mr. Cummings not taking the phone calls, and we're going there to verify. They sent me some text messages I cannot reveal, but what I have to give you today, I have given it to you. May God bless you. May God bless our country, and may God save our state. Have a beautiful day. I rest for now, and I will enjoy the rest of the closing. Thank you. Eugene Lamy Fagon, Prince Maxwell, Dr. Richardson, Mame, and Sister Cole will take us home. Have a beautiful show, guys. Eugene.
See, today I'm so grateful that I am the first to close. That's how it works at times. But my fellow compatriots, listen and listen well. We come to elections every 6 years to elect our leaders. Our leaders make promises to us and they tell us, hey, this is what we want to do. This is what we're going to do for you. This is what you should have. It's like you're hiring someone for a job and you give the person the job to do. And after 6 years, the person comes back to you and say, I am back. Can you hire me? I got another 6 years, I can do a better job. You have to evaluate that person. The road to bombing was good, it was smooth, it was correct. Honor George Weah is cut into 3 different places. Our mountain was sitting down, we're waiting for people to come so that we can do business with them. We left in the county, they gave our mountain to Western Cluster. They took our iron ore, damaged our roads, and refused to hire our people. I am not worried about Bomi County. We went to Bear Mountain in Cape Town. We saw how they took away the gold, and they're taking away the diamonds. But the worst thing they did was to wash the gold with the chemical cyanide. Our EPA people agreed that they used chemicals that killed the plants, the animals, and provided no safe drinking water for the people. I'm not worried about Cape Town. Cape Town will pay. We go on to Bapolu, where the Chinese company is using explosives to blow up the mountain there, extracting iron ore, gold, diamonds in some cases, and the people's houses are dropping from the explosion. Excuse me. Bapolu will answer George Weah. We can go to Nimba, Bong, and Grand Bassa. Asilamita paid the government what they had to pay the government in taxes. But then they turned around and gave $9 million for Nimba, Bong, and Bassa. That today the people have not seen their monies. And yes, the people will punish him. Let's move on, excuse me, to Montserrado, the hunger capital of the country. People are suffering. You look at Akara's grave. He's the representative of a district, the most dirty and nasty district in the whole country. He drives in a $98,000 car. Next to Eugene Nangbe that drives in a $105,000 car. Both cars are the same. But one person paid $98,000, the other person paid $105,000. Akara's Gray wanted to engage his girlfriend. He went to Ivory Coast because his district was too dirty. I'm challenging them to come forward and say that lie. When he got ready to marry the woman, he went to Paris to get married. But when he got ready to go ask for your vote, he brought the president in the dirty poo-poo water to ask you to vote for him. I don't need to tell you. You know your own story better than me. So I look at the people in the Southeast. President Weah went to borrow $1 billion from Eaton and Ibumaf in order to face your role in the Southeast. That whole story became vla. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf borrowed $800,000 during her time. She and Joe Boakai. At the end of the day, you can see the road from Monrovia to Buchanan. You can see the road from Monrovia to Ganta. The man some of your support in the Southeast borrowed now $1.4 billion to $1.6 billion. Today, y'all show me one road so I can take off my shirt and my trousers and walk in the street naked. Y'all show me the Una road. And y'all show me what he done with Una money. But if you don't have anything to show for President Weah 6 years, let me just close by reminding you, when the American people said this man and his government have been engaged in extrajudicial killings, they are talking about the son of William Vakanarak Shadrach Tubman. He was almost beheaded. He was murdered in a gruesome way. You are talking about the son of William Ara Talbot, William Talbot Jr. All two of them, Tubman's son and Talbot's son, brutally murdered. For what reason, the JMB government will be able to tell you after the investigation. We can talk about the 3 missing boys. We can talk about Precious Cooper. We can talk what the police officer the court say that was killed in Grand Jide by Zopenon's brother, who was working with the NSA, who said his weapon discharged at a mine. We can talk about Alfred Butler, the NEC coordinator in Grand Jide. Right after the elections, he disappeared. And since then, nobody have found him. Why? Because a man who was not supposed to win won. We can talk about Matthew Innes or George Pambutu. We can talk about Mabutu Vlanyimpa. We can talk about Gefty Lama and Albert Peters. We can talk about Bate Niswa. All of these great men and women died. And the only way you will know the truth is unless Joseph Boakai becomes president. Let me ask you this. Do you want to know what happened to the $11 million that was supposed to subsidize your rice? That is now $22 a bag compared to 13? Do you want to know what happened to the $30 million for the stimulus package? Do you want to know what happened to the $25 million that was given for the mop-up exercise? Do you want to know why the U.S. government held the health authorities for the $800,000? My friends, if you want a better government and you want to know all these truths, then there's only one person you can vote for, and that person is Joseph Numa Boakai. And today, your government cannot even show one guest house. Look at the president's house in Grand Coup that Stanton showed. But all these people that have built big houses, let me assure you with this band on my shoulders, because I can't say my forehead. When the investigation is complete and they found that the Liberian people money was used to build those houses, my friends, those houses will become your next guest houses in the country. And they will set and cater to people who are coming to treat people from America. Teachers who are coming to teach you will have a place to stay. People who are coming to do agriculture and others will have a place to stay. Don't worry. That's why JMB said in Nimba, if it's true that they stole your money, you think they will go free? Unquote. He's a man of his word. And let me assure you, all of you that can say today that justice has been denied you, no. I say to you as a member of the JMB team, with Kawu Washimin sitting here, you have not been denied justice. Your justice is delayed, and your justice is coming. After October 10, you do the right thing and leave the rest to Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai. He will complete your journey and your story. I respectfully submit.
That was a very powerful one, Brother Eugene. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir.
To the Liberian
I think
people.
man can be friendly now.
To the Liberian people.
Look at that, Richard. You a leader, your friend at Stanton.
Dr. Moniba is on the campaign trail. And he's on the campaign trail for you, Dr. Moniba and Madam Grace Brown. These two individuals come with immense integrity. But this is the message that they want me to give to you today. Because somehow we are all living in a slumber. We have forgotten where we're coming from. Few years ago, Liberians were begging the international community for peace and reconciliation, to a point where the US government had to send 3 aircraft carriers just so Lord Rebel and Charles Taylor can stop killing one another. Just few years ago, Liberians were calling rice gold dust. Few years ago, we were taking bath in mud water, rainwater. Few years ago, we never had electricity in our homes. Every one of us had to go to hand pump to pump water from there. And people still pumping water from hand pump today. Few years ago, before you even go to the market, you had to pass through checkpoints with child soldiers and arms. And people were asking you all kinds of questions. Few years ago, men could not even leave their houses. It was Liberian women that had to go out to find food and bring it home. Few years ago, we had octopus. Few years ago, we had April 6th. I can go on and remind our people of the danger and the struggle we went through, to the point where we had to call the international community. Few years ago, we were putting bodies in front of the U.S. Embassy, calling for the U.S. intervention into our war because we knew our people were dying. Few years ago, rockets were dropping indiscriminately in West Point. I remember because I was there. Few years ago, there was a major battle between Lord Rebel and Charles Taylor, where Nuku Town, Lokin Town was the war front. Please do not forget why you are voting. Now, why I said the international community? Because Dr. Clarence Moniba and Madam Grace Brown wants us to remember that it is the same international community today telling us that there's extrajudicial killing in Liberia. The same international community were crying to bring peacekeepers to Liberia to save Liberia. It's the same people that are telling us there is corruption in Liberia. How hypocritical can we be not to listen to them today? Every angle of Liberia had war, child soldiers, women dying, rape, murder, food shortage. We turn to the international community, we turn to the US government, we turn to all of our international partners and NGOs, and we told them we need peace in Liberia, we want peace. Peace must come. We told papers, palm touch, and ran all around. It is an international community that had to put foot in Liberia for to have our peace. And the same international community telling us in their reports, as best as they can do it, that there is corruption in Liberia that is bad. There's extrajudicial killing in the corruption that is bad. There is human rights issue in the country that is bad. And then Liberian people say, oh, we got our government, they're our business. How can we turn our backs on our international partner and not listen to them? I heard the president said to maintain the peace. To maintain the peace. Mr. President and the CDC, when President Weah was peace ambassador of UNICEF, I was in Liberia as a little boy. I saw President Weah. We all saw President Weah in his white and blue writing shirt UNICEF. It was not President Weah who maintained the peace in Liberia. No, it was not President Weah. The peace in Liberia was maintained by those old ladies who kept themselves hungry and sat on the fields. It was those women who ambushed Charles Taylor convoy and said, we need peace in Liberia. It were those women who denied sex and said, if we can't have peace, nobody will move in this country. Those were the people who brought peace to Liberia. Those were the people who the international community listened to. Those were the people who made a racket to stop falling on West Point. Those were the people who made a racket stop falling on Gibraltar, Lockingtown, Nukutown, West Point, everywhere around. Today, we have turned our backs on those very same people. It is incumbent upon us, and Dr. Moniba wants you all to know, including Madam Grace Brown, that it is very, very important that we make sure we never forget those memories, because it is those memories we are voting for at the polls. We're not voting because Liberia is a rich country. We are voting because Liberia is a poor country, and we need to make it better for our children. President Weah grew up in a community where there was no education, where the poverty rate was so high, where corruption at the time in the country that he was born in was so immense. He became president. He never changed none of those things. I say that to a fact because President Weah has no major national development in his name that people can be proud and say, President Weah did this. The road started by other government. The school, the University of Liberia was built by another government. Where is President Weah's signature project for Liberian people? Where is President Weah's signature project in the first 6 years for Liberian people? Dr. Moniba wants Liberians to know that President Weah has none. Almost every project President Weah works on now is quick impact project, including the community fields he's building. Those community fields he's building, he should be building community clinics and hospitals for Liberian people, because there are more sick children in Liberia than children playing football. He should have been building schools, primary schools. They said, teach a man how to fish so that when he grows, he can become independent. Where is Liberia? Where is the president of Liberia and the CDC party making ordinary Liberians independent? Also, it is very, very important because Dr. Moniba wants the people to know that his mind is set on changing these things and shifting Liberia policy so that a new Liberia can be born. It is incumbent upon us to remember that in everything we do. So when you go to the polls and you see number 13 on the ballot box, make sure you understand what that means for you and your children, because you do not want to have a country anymore that repeat the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it Mami? Your turn? I think it's Mami and then Cole. Right.
I want to close with just highlighting something that Santon spoke about ANC before I can move forward. We've reliably learned that Mr. Cummins has been advised that he would not perform in the election as expected. Reliably informed by people he hired to conduct voter perception survey. Prior to that report, Mr. Cummins has announced and will play that audio video that he's ready for the campaign and he will match the government dollar for dollar. That was exactly what will match the government dollar for dollar. Because of that report, that he will not perform in the election, he has conceded and will not be spending money in this campaign. The expectation around logistics that people having across the county, they will get frustrated more when the campaign starts. So if they join the campaign because of logistics and opportunity to make money, they will probably leave, like others have already started to leave. So Mr. Kume is aware he's not going anywhere, he's not prepared to spend his money. He's already in the race, so he will do some showing up. But Liberians have seen George Weah leadership in the last 6 years. Few things our people complain about, and Councillor Gonglo has asked me to tell you from our team that we've been able to assess those problems and we have some solutions. 2, 1, poverty is as a result of lack of income. 2 areas we've identified are the main extractive sources of income for our people. We conducted survey, we talked to people. 2 places, 3 rather. Their children fees to go to school, even if it is private fees, private school or public school, the cost is high on them. Their cost of living, the places they live to rent, is burdensome on them. This is Gonglo's plan to address those problems. When we address your housing problem, we're doing this so to create the avenue for more money to remain in your hand, so you can be able to invest into businesses to earn money over 12 months period. Example, for everybody who paying rent for $100 a month, 1 year you'll be paying $1,200 every year. Under the current rental payment regime in Liberia that have existed since 1847, you are required to pay your 1 year rent before you enter the house. Or you are required to pay that 1 year rent before you can maintain your status in the house. It's because there is no rental policy of the government around that issue. This is what Gonglo wants to do to be able to address that problem. Because the government itself is receiving taxes on a monthly basis, Gonglo will introduce a rental policy that every household will have to pay their rent on a monthly basis. When that policy takes effect, instead of paying $1,200 in January for your rent, you pay $100. And you'll be left with $1,100 to invest into a business that will generate income for you, and gradually you can pay your money. So instead of emptying your account or everything you have worked for just to pay rent in January, you will pay your rent under a Gonglo housing policy. You will pay your rent and be able to save some money to invest into businesses. We will create jobs. And it is simple one way we're creating jobs. We have more than 250,000 kids in school. They wear uniforms that are coming from outside Liberia. This is Gonglo's policy to create jobs for the women, especially in the Western region and places where we make African clothes. You see, every time wearing the African clothes, under Gonglo arrangement, every public school in Liberia will wear traditional Liberian cloth. We have estimated that with that policy, each child buying a uniform, the current price of a uniform now in Liberia is between $35 to $45 US per uniform. When you multiply that price of uniform by the number of children in school, you are close to $2.5 million in $250 million market opportunity for uniform. Instead of that money going outside to buy cloth to come and face uniform in Liberia, will empower our women who producing country cloth in Liberia to produce the uniform for Liberian schools. 2 things it does. it creates jobs for the women, but then it also shows national identity and loyalty to country. That's how we create jobs for our women under the Gonglo arrangement. Lastly, you worry about food and agriculture. Everybody can talk about the nice things. You can explain about your drone. You can explain about your 21st century technology. We have worked with our farmers, and when we do these things, we don't carry the press with us because we want to talk heart to heart. We don't carry journalists. We've assessed the farming situation in Liberia. This is what Gonglo has to offer. The major challenge our farmers face across the country, and they've been trying to address on their own through what they can call coup. If you work in the bush before, the farmer can organize themselves into coup. Because the major problem they face is how to clear their land to be able to farm. So they form coup to go clear the land. That coup system will empower that coup system with our national army. The manpower resources we have in the army, since we are not going to war, the major threat we face as a country is food insecurity. The Gonglo administration will deploy the national army with resources, and they will use their manpower capability to help farmers across the country clear their land. And for the first time in our country in recent time, we announced a farm subsidy program. What the government does now is a haphazard initiative, sporadic, no plan, no agenda. We will announce a farm subsidy initiative that targets the farmers that are in most need of input to address your food security problem. So in conclusion, your poverty issue, your income issue will be addressed through the rental policy. You will save more money instead of paying all for the rent. We will create jobs for our women who are producing African clothes. Our students will use that in school to show national identity, but also create income for the women who are facing clothes. That politicians will not only wear their clothes during campaign time, but students will wear it to go to school.
30 seconds.
So to conclude on the last one for agriculture, our food security policy is to deploy the military to be able to address the major banning constraint to cleaning their land, but also, and most importantly, to address productivity issue, we announce a farm subsidy program that prioritizes the farmers in most need to address food security in Liberia. Thank you.
Let's go to Mepe. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Beautiful show, beautiful show. Mommy, this is the most inspiring thing I've heard from the Gonglo campaign. I have a vision for school. I attempted to in 2015. And I always say at least one day a week, my students will wear the African attire. I didn't look at the production aspect in terms of money, but I look at it from the approach of self-identity. People think we like identity politics, but our people must know who they are, appreciate who they are. Then they tend to love country at a larger scale. So when we should have rescued this country, we have to bring the Gonglo people on board. Who will say that Mommy is not a brilliant young man and must be incorporated by the rescue mission? That's why we are open doors. When we should have rescued this country, we are going to have inclusion of all well-meaning Liberians. And I'm telling you, Councillor Gonglo and his people will be on that train, or they will be at the Big Ten when we should have arrived. And together, all of us will build a prosperous country. What Stanton was saying earlier about the ANC, I agree with you, Mommy. I heard some of those. And even in terms of the advice, not only being from the survey, but from family sources as well. But we said something on the show before. People said, oh, they are loyalists. Gibson came here and said, the ANC people will never support boycott because they have issues, or they wouldn't leave and go to other opposition. What you saw happen in Nimba, you had people who were close to the campaign resigning. I told you, with politics, there are no iron curtains to stop political migration. And this is why I know before the train can, get to its destination, people will be migrating across political lines and coming. But the good news is there's so much room for everybody. There are good people in the CDC you think we don't know. Some credible people are there. There are some of them in the ANC. There are some of them in Lino, obviously in the Gonglo camp. But we are going to build a Liberia that is inclusive, under a leader who has inclusion credibility, and that leader is Joseph Yema Boyka. And to make a little correction, because this is our platform, Stanton, he maybe oversight while talking. That was not an issue in Banga. Was not Professor Henrik Topai. It was Henry Yala. But people, I just want those people to know that if you have issues in your party, but you are in opposition, the rescue mission is open to receiving all of you. We have the biggest stand, and we are humble about it. Today, I had a conversation, privileged and humble to have a conversation with our leader, Rescue One. And he said, Cole, I want this for all Liberians. We have to do this for Liberia. So when I tell you that my father said in his mansion there are many rooms, if it weren't so, I wouldn't be telling you. I mean it. I'm not just doing it. I spoke with him today. He reassured us of his commitment to collectively changing Liberia with all of us. On that note, let me congratulate you, Big Brother Honorable Eugene Fagon, for your elevation on the national campaign team of the Unity Party. So I believe you bring so much energy.
Tata Francine, wait, don't count.
I believe you bring so much energy. You bring so much knowledge, so much help and boost to the campaign. And I would like to also congratulate all Liberians that he named today, particularly our first-time voters. On almost all the committees, he appointed first-time voters, speaking to them and saying, I'm here to empower you. This is also a government that is willing to incorporate the youths. Look at our vice president or presidential candidate, how young he is. But I go a step further. I'm incorporating first-time voters and say, come and be part of a process that will historically change your country. And your contributions can be, made known and be a part of it. So I congratulate all those named to the JMB rescue team, especially our first-time voters. Mambe, you say in passing about what you say, bow or you either have to bow or
perish.
Or perish. And you mentioned in passing Diba as one of the latest victims. I see his move as the move of a victim, I read so many comments about it. People say Diba succumbs to hunger. But you see, it's discouraging. Like you said, people knew him to be otherwise. If you want to support the party or your friend, but for many years, he came out and said, no, this is not the way. And your other friends have been supporting. Why at the 11th hour? If you knew ever saying you wanted to be in the security force, my brother, you could come up. Because I think that where the other soccer players are, Oliver McCall, Eugene, is he now in the EPS?
Come.
And then you got is that George Chibro with the NSA?
Yeah.
So Tibago had joined the ranks of his former players and provided security a long time ago. But we feel nothing for pity for him, This is a guy that even me, I've had more people cast vote for than him. He ran in District 9 and could not even collect 2,000 votes there. But it tells you what hunger can do. When I tell you on this platform that Mao Zedong said when the survival of man is threatened, ethics becomes secondary. That is an example. So we are telling people, stay put, stay strong. Change is on the way. It's almost here. The opposition is going to clinch these elections. Real change will come to our country. All those out there who disgruntled, whether in your own parties, dissatisfied about the government, even seditions who are not happy. They say we voted this party, we've supported it unconditionally. We don't feel that we're ever absorbed, we're ever cared for. But guess what? Joseph Yima Boyka does not look at things with political lens or tribal lens. And so you're not from this area, or you're from this party. Your Fagon used to be with the CDC. No, Fagon, that's not a leader you saw here in Minnesota. He's hoping for all Liberians to come on board the train. And that when that train stops, all of us will be included. Even Dr. Francine Richardson is going to be part of that. So I encourage you that it's never too late to give up your prejudice. Come on board the train too. We have room for you. If it weren't so, I would not be telling you. Have a good night.
Thank you. I'm just going to close by telling Mr. Prince Way and his colleagues, we want to wish them well in their new political journey. I know this is the moment in politics where people shift around, but you know, the best thing about our Constitution is we have the right to, you know, associate with whichever political party that we want to. But I think, you know, we want to just wish them well. You know, every day we come here and they mention Mr. Cummings' name all the time, sometimes not in the best possible light. But, you know, what it means to you Liberians is that, you know, some people on this platform are threatened by Mr. Cummings. But, you know, we'll take the free publicity, and we will also correct the misinformation when Mame and whoever comes here and say, oh, you know, Mr. Cummings, he has reliable information that we're not campaigning anymore, or either Mr. Cummings is going to get off the race. That is disinformation, and it's almost like election fraud, because we are here on this biggest platform telling people, persuading their votes by saying somebody's opposition is getting out of the race. It's almost like when I hear people saying we're going to win one round. It's not possible with 20 persons in our race. I mean, well, it's not likely. I shouldn't say it's not possible, but I think it's something that we need to consider how we speak about those things. You know, one of the reasons why Mr. Cummings would make a great president for Liberia, he has the knowledge, he has the skills, and he has the experience. I believe, and not just the experience, but leadership and productive experience. There are so many people, like, you know, who we have our current leader and other leaders that have been in politics before that will come and say they have the experience, but we know there was nothing that they contributed. Mr. Cummings is a good listener. He's going to listen and respect the rights of Liberians. If you want to wear a uniform that was given to you by our school, you will do so. If your body is not conducive enough to put a country club gown on, something that I love a lot, he's not going to, you know, make you do that. He will listen to the voices of the Liberian people. He's going to run the country according to what is in the best interest for the Liberian people. So I want to speak about, and I often tell you about, the antiquated system that we have now in Liberia, and the leaders that want to put in power that will perpetuate that antiquated system. What Mr. Cummings has to offer you is a modern system, a new system, where he has the opportunity to have worked in both, you know, the antiquated system, which is Liberia. Many of us on this platform, we grew up in Liberia. We know how the system works. For example, in Liberia, the government don't even have a website. You know, many of our government offices don't even have a decent telephone. People are using their private cell phone. That's what we call the antiquated system. We all know it. The modern system that Mr. Cummings has experienced, which is in recent days, he worked in a modern system. It's a system that where the world is going to. The world is going to the direction of technology, digital technology. The world is going in the direction of, you know, respecting human rights. The world is going to the direction of not a counterfeit a democracy that we have. It's going in the direction of respecting the rule of law. And so this is what Mr. Cummings would like to offer to the Liberian people. And when we talk about infrastructure, again, it's something that he feels that electricity will solve a lot of our problems in the country. If we don't work on our electricity problem, which is highly related to technology, our problems are not going to be solved in Liberia. When he talked about infrastructure, something as simple as using our own frequent sunlight in our country. We have abundance of sunlight in our country. Why is it that nobody's Mr. Weah, who gets $150 million in the budget for just his own project, why is it that he has not redirected those funds to just, electrify our country by using solar system? Okay, that's the innovation, the modern technology that the thinking that Mr. Cummings brings to the table. October 10th, Liberians, I ask you to be informed. Don't listen to the noise in the market, as our Liberians say. People say they're afraid of us. That's why they will come here and say everything, because they know that we're a competitor to them. Give Councillor Brunskin and Mr. Cummings a chance. On October 10th, make informed decision. This is not about you, all right? This is about Liberia. People who are moving from place to place right now, it almost appears that maybe this is about their own desire as opposed to the country Liberia. So October 10th, be informed and make the decision for Councillor Brunskin and Mr. Alexander Cummings. Thank you. You guys, it was a great show, so I will see you guys later. All right, bye-bye.
Well, folks, we want to say thank you. We want to say thank you for joining us tonight on this edition of the program Spoon Talk. Thanks for making your contributions on the show in the comment section. You can join us tomorrow for another presentation of the program. We've been live on Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV, and also on YouTube at Spoon Talk Live. I want to say bye-bye for now. You can also join us tonight when we shall bring you the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. All right, until then, I'm Nelson Colette. Have for yourselves a good night. Bye-bye.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band.